All right. Thank you for joining us. Hello, adventurers and friends. I am back in the Elder Scrolls Online. I have been live streaming here for a little while now, and I am following the continued adventures of my Dragon Knight up in Glenumbra, part of the Daggerfall Covenant. I have done most of the adventures up in this regular. Sorry, 1 second, folks. I'm almost going to sneeze. I've done most of the adventures. I'm good now. I've done most of the adventures up here in Glenumbra, the starting quest for the Daggerfall Covenant, and it's been great. The storyline so far has been a collusion between the Bloodthorn cultists, who are sort of evil cultists that are dealing with Daedra, who are trying to take over several villages, which I have liberated, and the Red Hook, I believe it is. Let me see if I can look at the Red Rook. There we go. Red Rook, this Thieves Guild. They seem to be in collusion, who have been trying to both take over the central region of Glenumbra. Now, I have liberated a few villages. I've gotten them out of a few graveyards where they've been raising zombies and so forth. The Bloodthorn cultists that's been. I've freed this town of Camlorn as well from a werewolf menace that there seems to be growing in the area. And I know that there is a boss werewolf that has been harassing these good people of the regions. I've now pushed them back to the northern area of Glenumbra, and I am going to take them out. I'm going to cleanse this area, and I'm going to free the good people here. It's been a fun adventure so far. I've really enjoyed it. If you joined me on these adventures before, welcome back. If it is your first time here in this live stream, thank you for showing up. It's great to have you here. I am really just doing this sort of for fun and broadcasting my adventures. I do the quests and I sort of kibitz on whatever life, the universe, and everything is inspiring me at the moment. Often I had originally decided I was going to do this on Elder Scrolls news, but there's really not a whole lot of Elder Scrolls news to share. We've seen the expansions coming out, and I've covered that in previous broadcasts. So week to week, or at least daily, there's not a huge amount of news to share. That actually brings me to the point of Elder Scrolls itself and the community. I will say I think they need a great news portal. They don't have one. If you looked at the ZeniMax site for Elder Scrolls Online, you'll find a few promotional items, but there isn't the sort of community-based news that you used to get back in the day. Now, I'm an older gamer, and so maybe it's just me remembering the good old days or being nostalgic about this whole thing, but, nostalgia is not what it used to be either. So I used to run a site on RPG Planet for some MMOs back in the day, and there was a lot of community news, not so much these days, or at least it's hard for me to find. So I don't know how much of that I have to talk about, but I'll talk about gaming news in general. I'll talk a little bit about what's going on in Elder Scrolls Online, some design issues. I'll talk a little bit about live streaming today. I have been trying to modify, and the reason why I'm running back and forth, by the way, I've been trying to modify and get a better frame rate, which seems to be pretty good right now, actually. Previous streams, I've had sort of a bad frame rate where I've ended up with a lot of choppiness. That has been annoying, and I've been disappointed with that. So I've been messing with a few settings. If you're a live streamer as well, I'll tell you what I've been messing with just shortly, which is I've looked at the bit rate that I've been using for the stream. It's gone up and down, and I've gotten the same results whether I go up or down. I'm at about 3,500 kbs on the stream. That actually I think is pretty reasonable. I don't see why that should be a problem. So I've messed with some other things. I've defragged my hard drive. I've gotten uninstalled, I don't know, maybe 100 gigabytes worth of games that I'm not playing anymore. Optimized that hard drive and defragged it. That shouldn't be a problem, although for the technically minded folk out there might be interested in this. I have two hard drives. They're Windows sort of treats them as one in sort of a RAID-array configuration. One is a solid-state drive, and the other is a spinning 1 terabyte hard drive. It's possible that that's been causing the problems in the past, although these difficulties are hard to say, and it's always difficult to say. If some of the content has been stored differentially between the solid-state drive and the spinning drive, I could see that being a potential problem, although there's very few ways to tell other than cleaning things up and seeing what the result has been. So Hey, Backstab Kitty, it's great to have you back. Blessings of the moon to you as well. It's great to have you back in the stream. For those of you who might be joining, there's a live chat. I think there's only the one person in chat right now, but I hope you join it. Or if you're seeing this later on YouTube, on the YouTube archive, love to get your thoughts or your feedback on this stream as I go forth. Again, it's sort of I'm trying to improve my skills at live streaming. Half of this is to concentrate on my ability to speak in public. So there's a lot of different things sort of happening all at once here. If you have feedback on the stream content you would like to see, ways to improve how I'm talking, how I'm communicating, I'd love to hear that constructive feedback. Trolly feedback, keep to yourself, but constructive feedback is always welcome. I really appreciate that. So I've picked this up exactly where I left off on the last stream, so I have not continued my adventure since that time, and I'm picking it up right where the storyline left off. So I am up at the main camp, which is pushing back the werewolf and bloodthorn menace. There's this graveyard, Bedard, which I think we're going to go to in a second. I know there's a sort of an undead menace hanging around this area, and bloodthorn cultists have been raising undead, and they have been influencing the werewolves. So I'm going to go back with Sir Lannis here and start this adventure anew. And if you joined before, by the way, I have reconfigured all my gear, at least made new gear for myself. That's been fun. I switched back to the Imperial motif on this character. I always mess around with the colors of the armor. It's been very enjoyable for me. I have gone with Imperial. And this time I went with the Ashen Grip set and the let me see if I can find the other one, the Death's Wind set. This is the first time I've actually split these sets up and experimented with multiple sets for multiple abilities. The Death's Wind set is my major set, gives me some more physical resistance, some extra health, and if I'm down to 35% health and I start taking damage, there is a chance that I will activate a special ability that stuns and knocks back all enemies within 8 meters and stuns them for 4 seconds. It can only happen once every 30 seconds, but, should be fine. I actually think that would be a fun ability. Hopefully, since I have to be under 35% health, it won't trigger it a whole lot, but I am looking forward to being able to do that and maybe finding out once or twice and see if it happens. So I'm split this set up a little bit. I'm a blacksmith with this character, so I've made the armor in the Death's Wind set. I've also done the Ashen Grip set, and I have got 3 items in it normally that give me a little bit of maximum health, a little bit of extra weapon damage. I also I've noticed that I experimented, if you haven't done before, if you're new to me, by the way, if you're joining the first time, I'm fairly new to Elder Scrolls Online, returning it to it again after several years away, or it never really catching with me, but it has caught this time. So I've been playing quite a bit. So a lot of the content is new to me, and a lot of the new rules are new to me. So I'm discovering that and go along. Often that's part of my commentary. So I've got my main weapon here that's part of the Death's Wind set. I've also got my battle axe, my two-handed weapon, which I occasionally switch to. That's part of the Ashen Grip set. I didn't know at first if I had them both in my quick slots, if I would get the benefits, but that is not, you don't get them all at once, but when you switch, you do get them. So as you can see here, Ashen Grip, I've only got 3 items reading right now, but if I were to switch to my two-handed weapons, I get 4. So my intention is to use my opener with the sort of rush for the two-handed weapon that gives me a little bit of extra weapon critical, and when I'm in combat, I switch over to my sword and shield, which then starts to get this benefit for the Death's Wind set. Now, something I hadn't planned through when I started, you can see here when I switched over to my set for the Ashen Grip, I lose the 5th item bonus that you normally get. Now, I don't think that's a big deal because I'm not going to take that 35. I'm not going to be under 35% health when I'm switching back and forth, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. But it is something that I would love to hear your feedback on. How this is my first time mixing sets like this. So if you mix sets normally as part of your sort of layout for characters, I would love to hear how you normally do that. Do you worry about that 5th item dropping off if you switch back and forth between weapons? I could have even optimized this a little bit more. This shield is not part of a set. This character is not my woodcrafter, which is what makes shields in this game. I should have maybe thought about making that part of a set too, but again, I'm not. I'm mostly worried about learning this right now, not about optimizing it. So when I hit 50th level, and I can stabilize, and I'm not shifting out of gear so quickly, I'll worry about optimizing at that date. But for right now, I'm mostly worried about just how how these things fit together, how to plan through this for the future. So if you have any advice on how to do that, what to consider, go ahead and drop it in the chat. I'd love to hear your feedback, or drop it in the comments on YouTube. I'm not quite. I guess I would have added this shield, and that would have given me a nice set of abilities for this combination. And what I'm thinking of, since the two-handed really doesn't give me a whole lot, and I like the sword and shield combo, I might actually go in the future to a rotating set of one-handed and shield in both slots. And what I will do is, let's go over to skills here. You can see these abilities. Since I'm slotting these abilities, and I know that you want to keep your main class abilities here to level those up, but it limits you to your main weapon 2 abilities here in these open slots. What I might do is actually slot one-handed and shield in each one of those things, and then just use different abilities. Because over here, as you can see with one-handed and shield, I'd love to get this defensive posture. I'd love to get this shield charge. I'd love to do all of these things, but I'm not leveling those. So I would love to hear your feedback on this. So my thinking is, maybe at next level, what I'll do when I start getting some more skill points, I'm saving these up for crafting a little bit, but what I might do is shift these out so that the first level ability is really about standing there and going toe-to-toe with someone, and the second bar would be about sort of my openers and maybe defensive combat. And think through that. I don't really know, but it would allow me to at least start leveling these other 2 abilities up. And it annoys me that I can't do that effectively right now. So anyway, that's what I was thinking. I probably should think about taking some of these passives. Increase your weapon damage by 3% damage. I mean, just go ahead and throw one in that right now. Ooh, that's a pretty good ability. Deadly Bash, which is a passive. I love to, as you've watched this before in combat, you've probably seen me go ahead, and I love to do interrupts when I'm paying attention enough to do it. This improves my standard shield bash attacks. Bashing deals 50% additional damage and costs 20% less stamina. Actually, since that's a major thing that I do with this character, I am going to go ahead and hit that. And sure, I don't really run out of stamina a whole lot, but I do block, so I'm going to actually go ahead and hit one of these as well. So that gives me a bunch of passives in here that were pretty nice. I'm going to worry about these other 2 abilities at a later date, but let me see if since I got a couple, let me see what I got. I tend not to invest in passives in the class abilities because I only use a few of them. I am a stamina-based character, and I don't. Most of these are dependent on abilities that you can have slotted for your class, so I haven't really looked through them a whole lot. Yeah, see, they require you to have an Earthen Heart, an Earthen ability slotted. I don't know. I'm not gonna pour through these right now. But yeah, so I probably should take a few more of these passives to make me more effective. I just haven't done it. Backstab Kitty saying, not sure if the 5th is useful, maybe 4 in both sets. Yeah, that's a good. I should try that sometime at one of these levels when I split them up. I like the thought of the special ability, but how frequently that's going to come into play, that's a good question. I don't know how often I'll be under 35% health with this character. With the heavy armor, I have some investment in health as well. I don't take a whole lot of damage, but it does occasionally happen. And if I do sort of drop below that 35% level, I'm thinking it would be nice. Sure, would be nice just to be able to stun everybody for 4 seconds, quaff a potion, or do something like that. But I don't know. Well, actually, so this is a great experiment. I'm going to go ahead, play with this set, see if I hit that 5th level ability, that 5th set ability frequently. If I do, it's either a matter of my playstyle or a reality game. So I'm going to stick with it if that's the case. But let me do this experiment, see how I go through it, and see what I really think I need out of it. So let me go ahead and talk to this guy, start this quest.
The great King Casimir sent us to stop Angoff. With the combined might of the dragons, the Lion Guard, and you, Angoff will surely fall.
I sure hope so. If you've been watching this, if you're familiar with the storyline here, or you've been watching these streams, Angoff, I believe, is the head werewolf. I've taken somebody down once that was like that, but Angoff seems to be the major bad guy, vexing the zones and sort of manipulating the Bloodthorn, the Red Rooks, and the werewolves all together. And I think now that I'm at the top of the zone, I'm looking to take him out to end his reign of terror and restore justice to the good people of Glenumbra.
Well said. But we can't just rush after the villain. First off, Angoff's toxic mist protects the approach to Cathbadro. It rises from his vines and sickens anyone who breathes it in. The wizard Benele believes you might be immune to its effects.
Ah, the talisman.
We don't have any other options. A squad of dragons succumbed to the mist before they could retreat. Then that idiot Darien led a few Camlorn soldiers on an ill-conceived rescue mission, and they were overcome as well. I hope the soldiers still live. That mist is deadly. And that fool from Camlorn, what was he thinking? He charged right into the mist after them.
And that fool that he's talking about in this quest is a NPC that I ran into on the Camlorn set of quests. They were sort of a hot-headed, adventure-driven son of one of the officers of the Lion's Guard. I've mentioned before, I love the connectivity between a lot of these quests. The storyline is great, and the flow of it is really great as well. So I really enjoy that sort of continuing storyline. I alt a lot, so sometimes I forget what it is, and it reduces my ability to sort of pay attention enough. But when I can, I really enjoy it. So it's something I've been enjoying about the game so far. Maybe I should look for your soldiers. A lot of missing soldiers in this game.
The poison mist acts fast. Hopefully, they stay together. Once you get them out of there, we can plan our attack against Angoff. With the city liberated from Falchu, some of the Camlord Guard came up this way looking for a fight. A noble named Darien was acting as their leader. He seemed very angry with Angoff. Something about werewolves.
Yes, that would be the guy. I said the hot-headed guy. I helped Camlorn get liberated from some werewolves. It was actually a very entertaining quest. If you haven't played the Daggerfall quest line in the first zone, that Camlorn quest is probably the best I've run into in the zone, and there's been several really good ones. So I enjoyed that. That was about a werewolf name. That's where I got the name confused before. It was another A name, and sometimes I can't keep up with them. But I took that werewolf down. I won't give you a spoiler as to how. There's a special way you have to do. You have to use tactics on that person to take them down, and then you expose sort of their treachery. So that was great to hear. But now that I've freed that town, that sort of hot-headed noble has come up here to get himself in trouble. And of course, I'm going to have to save his bacon once again.
Arcade blind me if I know. When the king mentioned your name, the dog perked up and stuck with us all the way from Daggerfall. Looks like he's happy to see you.
Ah, Giblets. Giblets. So this Giblet, he started again. So connectivity quest. This dog was part of a quest back in the original zone when you first arrived down here, way down in the starter city here, looking for his master. And I actually forget entirely, but the master went missing and died. And I came and returned the dog to the city. He just kind of sadly sits out at the south gate. I think it's this east gate of the city, and he's still there looking out for his master. And it's really kind of sad, actually. So I don't know what happens with this character, but I am super duper hoping that I get to do something with him where he follows me and I get to adopt him as a pet. Because I love him. He's awesome. He looks pretty cool. And I would love to have little Giblets follow me around. That's even with my cat here. He's not going to get along with him. But I don't care. I would love to get Giblets follow me around. So I'm hoping one of these quest rewards is I get the sort of a special collectible of Giblets. So let's hear it for Giblets. And I got my fingers crossed.
A cult, they say, right beneath the king's castle. Called him the Bad Man's Hollows.
Quit your lip. All right. So let me pick up all the quests I have to. Looks like there's only this one here on the other side of the wall. They're all recovering from their attack in the war. So what is this? Garmeg the Iron Finder.
The people of Crosswich need help.
All right, tell me what's up, my man.
Troubled times in Glenumbra, it seems. All I hear is bad news no matter where I turn. But the worst, as far as I'm concerned, is poor Crosswich.
What happened in Crosswitch, my man?
Damned Red Rooks are what happened. They're trying to turn our town into their base of operations. They took over the mine and threaten or kill anyone who gets in their way. Tamian Sellen is organizing a resistance to take back Crosswitch.
Huh.
Perhaps, but these run-of-the-mill bandits are bleeding us dry. They're organized and dangerous. If you want to help, find Tamian Sellen at the inn. If you don't call attention to yourself, the Red Rooks will probably leave you alone.
All right, I will look for him in Crosswitch. I'm going to turn the audio up on this a little bit. It seems a little low for me, so I'm going to turn it up. All right, it started a legit interest. So I got to find this major baddie in the region, take him out. Got to find the knights in Cath Bernard who have gotten themselves into serious trouble up here in Crosswitch. I've got to find what's going on with the Red Rooks, and I have no idea what this burial mounds thing is going to get me or not get me, but I'm sure I will discover something soon. Red Rooks have been a huge pain in the butt, man. I can't wait to pop those dudes on the head. I'm going to smash their brains in, lovingly, in a heroic fashion. Let me activate the right quest. All right, so Backstep Kitty has a great idea in chat, saying often they use one bar for single target and another bar for area of effect. Actually, I don't know why I didn't think of that. Of course, that sounds wonderful. I think with Dragon Knights, at least for one-handed and shield, I'll have to look through the abilities a little bit better one time. They look mostly about debuff and attack, and then maybe defense. So there's shield charge, and there's single target. So I might do sort of opener and defense versus attack, but I'll have to think that through when I get around to actually spending some points on that. So these zombies that you see hanging around, they're all a product of this vicious person in the graveyard that I'm about to head to. First, I got to save these stupid knights that charged up from Clamhorn. Got themselves in trouble, which is exactly what they did down in Clamhorn. So they seem to be making a habit of it. Ooh, tasty, tasty book. Give me some lore book experience for the Mages Guild. Can I go in here? Is that no, can't go in there. All right. All these little vines that you see, this sort of strange growth, there's some sort of corrupt druid, and that is the person I'm after. So, skeletal anarchist. Let me... Oh, hit the wrong key. I am going to do my opener, which is two-handed right now, but I will eventually... Come on, you. I'll eventually switch to a charge from my shield, which actually, now that I mentioned I want to do it, I'm fighting, recalibrating everything right now and doing it, because now it makes me feel stupid that I haven't done it before. All right, let's find these knights. They're in the middle of this graveyard. So this sort of corrupt druid or whatever is raising whatever sort of Daedric corruption is in the zone, raising these zombies, causing these werewolves. The Bloodthorns are sort of in league with them, I think, somehow. The Red Rooks are also in league, or at least making a profit off of them, and creating tons of problems. So let me get rid of this person and find out what's going on. These guys did not have a good day. Did they get burnt up? Did you get burnt up, my man? They're all tattooed. They're all tattooed. They look tired. This is Darian. Very interesting.
Well, look who's here. I should have known you'd be making Angolf's life miserable. Camlorn wasn't enough for you, eh? Say, these mists are poisonous. Why aren't you affected?
Because I got a talisman in the last
I didn't
quest.
think. I just rushed in to help the Dragon Knights. My guards started gasping and falling to the ground, just like the Knights. But not me. These are the only survivors. But I don't think they'll last much longer.
Can we
The mist
escort
is
them
thicker
out of
toward
here?
The gate. They won't survive passing through it again.
Oh no.
But the mist doesn't seem to affect the necromancers. Those amulets must protect them. Kill a few, take their amulets, and give them to the knights.
Perfect. Good
Better
plan.
grab a couple of extras just in case anyone shows up while you're gone. I'll stay here and defend the knights from any wandering undead.
Sounds good. All right, the knights can't make it back out. There's a protective barrier that has a mist, a poisonous mist around it. So I need to whack these guys, take their amulets, give them to my friends, and get them out of here. So, opener. All right, suck on that for a little bit. Now, this is I'm playing it solo, which makes it kind of stupid, but this is the tank build that that means mostly single target attacks. Stamina build tank with sword and shield gives me lots of single target attacks. I don't think I'm going to end up with area effect attacks. Hopefully that is not going to hamper me in the long run, but I don't care. It's fine. This game's not that. It's not really super challenging in terms of trying to keep you right to the edge with combat skills. Now, actually, that's often taken in gaming circles as an insult. Not an insult to me. I actually appreciate that. The main problem with when you put things sort of too hard, when you make them too hard, that means that the optimal build, everything is geared towards a single optimal build, and it creates a lack of viability for any other type of character. That reduces the flexibility you can experience in game. It makes so that you sort of have, despite all of these different classes, but despite all the different abilities, you end up having only sort of one or two abilities that you can realistically use because the maximum damage has to be done. Everything has to be optimized to the nth degree, and it takes away from the enjoyment of the game for me. So I'm very glad that I don't have to. I can do things like talk. I can live stream while I'm playing. I can not pay attention to the ultimately great rotation. There's some content in the game that appears to be for that type of play, though. There's things called pledges and trials. I have not done either, so I actually don't know what they are. I've heard my guild mates going on them quite frequently. They seem to be enjoying them. I don't know what they are, but I intend to eventually find out. I don't like, however, live streaming if people in the live stream don't realize they're in it. So I'm waiting to have a little group to give that a shot. Whip him. So yeah, I'll eventually do those pledges. It sounds like it's really a split of content. I really enjoy that. Actually, I think that it's good to have multiple different parts of the game you can choose to play. If depending on what you like, you shouldn't be nailed down to having to do one thing. If you are, then I really don't understand the point of expansive worlds like you get in MMOs. So yeah, I appreciate that I don't have to do just one thing. And that the game is simple enough that I can. It's challenging enough I've died. If you see me on other streams, I die. That's nothing new. So it's not like you can just do whatever you want whenever you want. Backstep's getting. Do I know of any add-on that shows you who knows which design pattern, like Cookery Whiz does with recipes? Yeah, I do. Hopefully, I can remember the name of it here. I've got one that helps me. It's Trait Buddy. What that does, I can switch between characters. There is a separate one that does all abilities if I wanted, but I prefer this because I can just sort of keep them on which character. It tells me which abilities I know, which are being researched at the time. I could switch between characters. One word of caution is if you play, it reads off of the hard drive, so it's a local data storage. So I play on my Mac, and I switch back and forth between my Mac and PC occasionally. So especially to set up research, if that's happening for me, I don't end up being. It basically doesn't tell me what I need to know about all the characters at once, but for me, it's not a big deal. So anyway, I could do blacksmith clothing. Get the different motifs, what you need, who's got what research going at once. All of these I find that really helpful. It's called Trait Buddy. Anyway, I really like it. Really is helpful for me. I would suggest that one.
How bad does it look?
These soldiers won't last much longer, and I don't have enough magic to extend my ward to protect them. Darian told me about the amulets. Did you get them? With any luck, they'll work like the talisman you're carrying.
Did I get them? Come on, baby, it's me. It's me. I always get it.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll put them on the wounded knights, and Darian can lead them to safety. Do you have any more? I might be able to use them to clear the mist. If I merge them and cast an amplification spell, I can increase the size of my protection ward. If I can get to a central point and hold the spell long enough, our troops will be able to get in. You just need to defend me while I do it.
Killing people is what
Good.
I do best.
Meet me at the center of the graveyard. When Angoff notices what I'm doing, he's bound to send someone to stop me. If they interrupt me while I'm casting, the spell will fail.
All right. So I've got these Lion Guard here with this Darian guy. Got them the amulets. I know I'm going to save them, get them out. But Gabrielle Bennell, which if you saw in the last live stream, she was a character in the previous set of quests who I helped get this talisman that is protecting me with. So she's been very helpful in that, and I just need to head to the center where she's going to go and try to cast that spell. So it looks like I have to do a bulwark. I kind of have to save her as she's being attacked. So let me get around here. Graveyard's pretty empty. In the center part here, and I bet you this is where I have to go. Looks like it.
Quickly now.
Defend
Before
Gabrielle.
Angoff knows we're here.
You got it. I bet she's coming out of there, but let me switch to my two-handed weapon so I can leap at people if I had to. Talk to Gabrielle to start the ritual. All right. What we got, Gabrielle?
Are you ready to begin? Remember that I can't defend myself while I'm performing the ritual.
Let's begin.
Stay close. Stay close.
Do this.
You have to keep them away from
no.
me until I complete the ritual.
Oh no. And I have got a taunt here. I do have a single target taunt. That is helpful. I'm going to hang back and pull them off of the people as they come out. I'm going to keep a good sight of her. Make sure she's not being attacked. All right. That's a pretty cool ability. I don't know what they're doing. You, keep you away. Whack you as well. Keep you away. Get you down. That's a pretty good ability that character has. I don't know what that is. One downside of playing with characters that have abilities like that is I often can't tell. I can't see through their little miss and their effects, so it makes it so I can't keep situational awareness. That makes it harder for me to play in groups. At least for me, there's probably a better way to do it. I don't know of any. I both like and require some adjustment.
Let's get inside before anything else tries to stop us.
I like the fact that there isn't a tab targeting in this game. That, especially for tanking, I'm looking forward to that someday. You don't just select a target and bring them in. You actually have to get the cursor on them. It increases the feeling of it, a whole active combat nature of the game. I like that. But the difficulty is when you get all these effects on the screen and you can't quite tell what's going on. It's really, really hard. It's really, really hard to sort of pick up who's doing what and where. So if you have to get and target an enemy that's, let's say, in the middle of a particle effect by someone breathing fire on them, like you just saw, makes it real difficult to execute an ability on them. And that gets a little frustrating at times. Makes it hard to keep track of what's going on. Let me look, see if there's any chests here before I hop in that portal. But yeah, that's the downside of it. I don't dislike it. I really enjoy the game. I enjoy the active combat nature of it, but I am not a big fan of losing enemies. So I wish there was some even split there. All right, Gabrielle, what's going on?
That takes care of the mist, but who knows for how long? Let's not waste this opportunity. The time to strike at Angoff has arrived.
That's all right. What do we do next?
This next bit is critical. I've seen what you can do, so I know you're up to it. Besides, we'd never have made it this far if not for you.
You betcha. I am on the job, lady.
You won't be able to just walk into Angoff's parlor and challenge him to a duel. He has minions. His kind always has minions.
Man, I want minions.
But don't let that stop you. We've come too far not to try to finish this.
Bad guys get all the good stuff. That's the problem with being a good guy. You're always on your own. All right, aren't you coming?
I'll follow
of course
you as
not.
soon as the soldiers get here. Oh, even better. Take this binding stone. Find a secure location inside the catacombs and use it to call me to you. I'll even bring some of the soldiers with me.
Yeah, you've got my back. Way back.
Some of the dead were protected by wards designed to prevent desecration. Look for a tomb with these wards and use the stone there. That should be safe enough for my purposes.
All right, I will summon you once I'm inside. Started the labyrinth. All right, this is going to be pretty cool, folks. I'm looking forward to this. All right, Cath Bedrad, I guess it's called. These internal dungeons and these sort of end of zone quests are usually pretty well designed, so I'm looking forward to this. I have finished the first quest zone in all of the major factions except for this one. This will be a tree. What do we got? We got more roots. Got a way out. Nothing much else. Looks kind of like the typical. Typical zone decorations. Sometimes I don't have. Oops. Sometimes I don't have the best luck switching back to my original weapon. Unfortunately, that's just, I don't know if that's just lag or something, but that's where I'm at. I was able to get switched there. The shield makes a huge difference in this game. I really like that in terms of blocking and taking less damage. Even on a passive sense, it's actually pretty useful. Looks like one of the portals that she was just warning me about. So, but I can go through it. Warded coffin lid. What's this do? Completed. Find a location to use the binding stone. That wasn't very far in. Why didn't you just come with me? All right. What do we got?
Good. You found the perfect spot for... Wait, where are the others? Yes. Sir Lannis and his knights volunteered to come with me. But I only see Dame Alexine. There must have been too many of us for the binding stone. This isn't good. The other knights could have been scattered throughout the crypts. Good. But listen, there's only one way to get out of these crypts. You have to kill Angoff. I don't have any other way to deal with his various protections and defenses now that I'm down here. He dies, or we never leave. Those are our choices.
Would have seemed important information to share before we came down, but thank you. Man, these people. Alright. Let's get down here. I'm always searching for recipes too. Aha. Yeah, see, I had trouble switching back there. So now I've got to find the scattered people that ported in with my friend there and get them to join me. Shouldn't be too hard. I like the zombies. They're very, I usually when I'm fighting someone, it takes them a little while to get around to casting a power attack. So these guys are on it right away. Too sweet. I actually like that. There's a quest to be had down here. Get that in 1 second. Get these zombies. Zombie puke. Avoid that. Looking for more recipes, Big thing for me right now are recipes, and I don't have enough cheese for my cooking. So cheese would be a good thing to find. What do we got here? You. Stab. Alright. I'm not using my armor buff a whole lot, as much as I should, but I will. Alright, there they are. These are the people I was looking for. So let me find Sir Landis.
Wizard Benelay said you'd gotten inside and were hunting Angoff. We wanted to help, but I hope we haven't done more harm than good.
What happened here?
We met Wizard Benelay outside. She said you'd use a binding stone to call us. Then suddenly we were down here in the dark and surrounded by a horde of undead. The rest of the contingent must be somewhere nearby.
You guys are not very good at this.
Guess? Deeper inside the catacombs. If you find any knights, send them this way. I'll hold the passage with this overconfident fool and his crazy friend. When they aren't flirting, they both fight like a whole platoon of orcs.
Let me save this guy 1 second. Yeah, I like it. I like the characterization they bring on these NPCs. They're a lot of fun. He's a little over the top, kind of gregarious adventure kind. I appreciate that. All right, Darian, what you got?
We managed to meet each other in all the nicest places. You know, we could be carousing in an inn somewhere, but no. Here we are instead, up to our necks in danger and adventure. Just like old times. Dear Gabrielle's spell seems to have misfired. Luckily, a few of us were able to find each other. I also convinced the Bloodthorn cultist to tell me how to reach Angoff. I can be very persuasive when I put my mind to it. 3 locks protect Angoff's inner
I love this character.
I doubt that even you can get in there by simply knocking. You need 3 shard keys to open the locks. They're well guarded, so you're gonna have to kill a few things to get them.
I will kill everything I see.
I wish I could aid you, but I'm needed here. Lannis is good with a sword, but I'm better. I'll protect the survivors. Let Lannis know if you run into anyone else.
Give me the
I don't know
keys.
exactly,
Where are they?
But the Bloodthorn cultist told me about the Guardians. Watch out for a summoned creature, an impassable trap, and a warrior spirit bound to Angoff's service.
Ooh, that's interesting. Sounds like a riddle. Tell me about the creature.
All I know is that Angoff drew on the collected power of his cultists to summon the creature. I hear that it's more plant than beast. And of course, it's terrible to behold.
Well, wouldn't be a creature if it wasn't, I guess. Tell me about the trap.
Actually, I couldn't get anything out of the cultist about the trap. Sorry, you're on your own with that one.
Well, thank you for taking up valuable quest dialogue with that.
It seems that when Angoff first came to power, a certain knight took offense and tried to kill him. Angoff captured the knight's spirit and bound it to serve him. I understand he's extremely powerful and not at all.
I would not be happy either. Okay, that's cool. So it looks like I've got a couple of different paths I've got to take. Collect the Shard of Cunning that's somewhere up ahead. So I've got to get around these areas, and I'm guessing this is where the last guy is going to be. So, sure. I'm going to go sort of this way and grab that as I pass by. So let me go forward. And let me figure out this as best I can. Block. Ah, I keep hitting. I make myself laugh. I keep hitting escape instead of my weapon switch key, and I should pay attention that I am during this fight. And that always surprises me every time I do it, even though I do it very frequently. All right. I should pay a lot better attention, but I'll get there eventually. All right, I've got to get these little 3 pieces of the puzzle and figure out how to take the get these shards in the meantime. I'm hoping it's not terribly complex with this trap. I always get nervous that I'm just not going to be too thick-headed and just not realize what I have to do for most of these things, which is not uncommon with me. I like puzzles, except when I just hit a wall and I can't figure them out, and then it gets a little bit too frustrating for me, especially if I'm looking to make some progress. But that's gaming. I should just get used to it. Okay. Dungeon damage dispenser. Who is this person?
By the 8, never creep up on a person. You're likely to get beheaded.
I just walked straight up to
You
you.
must be Wizard Benele's friend.
All right, you know me?
You're the mad fool who went into the catacombs ahead of us, aren't you? By the way, did the other knights make it? That binding spell seemed to throw me a bit short of the mark.
Okay, you should
I'll
meet
head
him
out
up there.
as soon as I see a clear path. A word of warning, though. The lurcher in the chamber ahead is extremely tough. I'd keep it away from the totems surrounding it if you plan to challenge it.
Okay, totems. All right, so I guess it probably heals it. There's a number of beasts who use a mechanic they have in here where they have sort of a buffing or some sort of mechanic that that heals them or weakens them sometimes instead. So I'm guessing that's what that means. Oh, there he is. Look at him, Rotten Root. He looks none too happy with my presence. And his last incarnation looks kind of burnt up. So, all right. Let me start taking this a little bit more seriously. I've got myself buffed up already. I've got some healing potions set to go in case I need them. I probably could have gotten something more. Let me get this rock root off this guy. Well, that was not too hard at all. That was actually kind of anticlimactic after all that. All right, fair enough. What do you? Is this where you sleep? It looks a little small for you, buddy. All right, so he's gone. He's taken out. Is there another part in here? That was all I had to do, huh? So I got the shard out of him. So it looks like he had one in him. That must be the plant-based guardian that they were talking about earlier. That means I just have the trap, and I have the spirit of the captured knight ready to take them out. They're the last 2 pieces of the shards that they have. What are you people doing back here? What's going on here? I bet you're here for a reason. Let's find out what that reason is, shall we? Block. All right. Block. I definitely don't take people down as fast as I do with my Night Blade. I don't really mind it. Glyph of Slight Shock. That's a pretty good little item. I don't think I need it for any of my... I think I've got a glyph on this. Yeah, I've got a glyph of flame damage. What does Slight Shock give me? Because these are under-leveled glyphs that I have. They're 15, which is what these are too. So I'm not going to get any more out of that. I got lemon and some Yerubamate. What else we got here? Nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Nothing. diddly squat. All right. So, what is going on here? Some kind of repeating ward. It looks like I might have to get in here when the ward is not on them. So let me try that. Trap statue. Oh, that hurt. Oh, there's a guardian. I don't know if that means I failed or if I'll find out in a second. Or if I have to kill him to take him out. Let me see. All right, so that looks like I get a second to jump in once the chest of cunning. Nope, can't open it. This looks like I get a second to jump in, and it disarms it, and a little guardian pops out while they do it, and it looks like it shuts it down. Interrupt. Two more. Trap statue. Whoa, give me a little damage. Not so terribly bad. That's a good puzzle. That's not really so much a puzzle as it is a annoying timing thing. Alright, so the chest is now active. I can get into the chest. And I've collected the Shard of Cunning. I would not say that that was really a trap. I gotta admit, that's not really a trap. You, get back to the unit.
Stay back. This area's trapped. Don't get caught like I did.
Alright.
After each trap fires, there's a brief moment when you can disarm it. During this moment, you have to defeat its guardian.
Well, what the
It's
heck?
only way.
Now you tell me? Oh my gosh. Dude, you could have screamed it across the other side. Oh,
So,
man.
I'm not the only one
All
left.
right. Oh, that was annoying. What else do I got over here? Do I have any quest markers on my map? Nope. And, the place that people have to join is just down there, too. I guess the intention was to go the other way that I went, so I had no clue once I got over here. No big loss, no problem. I'm guessing this is the direction of the major quest. Let's see. Kitty's saying the many things I like about ES games, no target lock. Totally agree. Yeah, I agree with what you with you on there. It's something I enjoyed. Again, more active combat makes me keep on my toes a little bit. They're also saying that on the hotbar keys, dodge and swap are buttons on the mouse for me. Can't play without that. Ooh, that's actually a pretty good way to go. Although, honestly, my hand cramps up. I play so much, my hand cramps up. So sometimes I avoid putting a whole lot on. This must be one of the guardians. You take. Stop it. So I avoid putting too much on the mouse because after an hour or two of playing, especially if there's a lot of spammable content, which, let's face it, Elder Scrolls Online and Elder Scrolls itself, high degree of spammability on the mouse ability, so it makes my hand cramp up. I should do it because I'm always fat fingering and, as you saw, and doing something wrong with the keyboard, but I don't know, I survive most of the time. Most of the time.
Spirit. His gaze, so hard and cold.
Other enter upstairs. Go
Here?
join him.
That's great news. I'll go find them in a moment. But be careful around this spirit. I think he's
All right.
cursed me already. My mind. I'll tell him. Watch it.
Right, this is that spirit of revenge. I'm guessing that's him. Looks like the same armor. And he had a pretty bad day. What do you got?
You come to destroy my master?
Sir Thomas.
I know what you seek. I would tell you a simple riddle, yet you already have the answer in your possession. That rune you hold is the key to releasing me. The living flesh holds the riddle answer no longer. Yes, but take care what you say. The words must be repeated exactly as written.
So something is written. I have something that has something written on it. Okay. What's that? Must be under quest items. Discordant Middle. Shard of the Lurcher. Shard of Cunning. Invitation to Orcian. Rune of Release. Release from slumber. Eternal darkness come forth. I don't. think I want to say that, but I guess I have to.
You come to destroy my mask? Yes. But take care
Release
what you
from
say.
slumber, eternal darkness, come
Oh,
forth.
it's done. Thanks, Stendar.
That was pretty easy.
Here, take the shard key. I am free to ascend at last.
Goodbye.
Destroy Angoth.
I will. That is a really suck-ass guardian. If that's who you're hiring to guard your back, they were pretty easy to overcome. What was the deal with that? I guess that person was just sort of standing up there. It doesn't look like he can get in there. Let me look and see if there's anything in the back. I'm always hoping for a tasty, tasty chest of hidden loot that I am the only one to discover. That's what I often hope. I'm a bit of an explorer. I guess on the Bartle scale, I have a high explorer, although I switch back and forth frequently. I am often an explorer by nature in these games. All right, last zone here. Angoff's Sanctum. I'm going to have to give you some majorly bad karma refunding here, buddy. Jumping back and forth between alts, by the way, who exactly Angoff is a bit lost on me. I know someone has been behind the scenes sort of bringing these vines in, manipulating things, but the Angoff piece of all of this has sort of been lost on me so far. So embarrassed to say that. I guess I haven't been paying attention. Looking around for chests to loot or fun things to get right now before I start in. I'm always worried they're going to teleport me out of an area, and I'm not going to be able to get back in and grab the good stuff before I go. So there's Angoff down there, the old Angoff hanging out. Looks like my own instance zone, so I don't think I'm going to get other players in. Some jasmine berries, some natural water. What do we got here? Drinks. Let's see. Let me get these barrels. Come on, recipes. Come on. No recipes. That stinks. Nothing in the crate. I don't see any.
So you are the vain fool who seeks to ply Glenumbra from my grasp.
Is it just me, or does that person sound like Cornholio from Beavis and Butthead? If anybody who's too young to remember, it was a cartoon called Beavis and Butthead, which is sort of the adult inappropriate cartoon in the days before South Park took over. And I swear to God that accent sounded like Cornholio, who needs tippy for his bunghole. Alright, let me make sure I've got my food eaten here before we get going. Yeah, I know I've eaten one, but I'll just do it and make sure it doesn't give up on me while I'm halfway through the level here. Alright, Gabrielle, what do we got?
We'll stop him. I'm sure of it. Keep away from those thorns and you'll be fine.
All right, so probably those thorns are going to attack me. Probably, I don't see any sort of braziers or buff zones that this person. I don't see any minions, so if they do any of that, it's going to be because they sort of teleport in. All right, I am going to switch and really, I'm going to try to pay attention, so I may not be able to talk through this one as much as I normally do. Which ultimate do I want to kick off? I think I'm going to do my Earth and Flesh one. Let me get that one when this is convenient. All right, here we go.
After I kill you, I shall raise you up and make you my slave. You and your flames
Before his magic
Right.
destroys you.
Yeah, minions coming in. Damn it, stop it. A lot of objects to sort of run into here. Get out of their zone. What's going on? I don't know what's happening there. I don't know what that ability is that just kicked off.
Get to the light before his magic destroys you.
They had a zombie puke. Mostly, if I can get away with it, I want to stay concentrated on this person. There we go.
You did it! Now hurry. Through the portal you go.
Just some gold and experience. All right, so that wasn't as hard as I feared. Let me see if there's any other barrels, anything to get. Crafting stuff. A rose. That's a nice little gift. No other chests I see. I kind of wish... That's something... What did I just see there? Must be the gate. Must be the gate. I wish that these zones had a similar design to the Elder Scrolls Online, which was there. You could always count on there being sort of a big fat chest at the end of every sort of dungeon area. And maybe it's the old school gamer in me, but I have to say I really enjoyed that, and I sort of look forward to what I was going to get out of that chest. I know they come. You basically get the same thing because you get a quest reward, and that's something similar. But I still just love the big fat chest at the end, and I wish I still had that here. All right, I've killed this guy. Let's get out of here and find the cheering crowds. The little help text on the bottom talking about writing skills. By the way, I try to log in every day. That's one of the late discoveries. If you've never played Elder Scrolls Online, or you're new, or for some strange reason you're looking at the archive of this, you're just getting ready to go in. One of the pieces of advice I give is that early on, you realize you can take writing lessons. So if you go to Stable Master and click on View Stable, that this isn't apparent at first. You can start to improve skills 1% per day once you start. So starting out as early as possible will make your horse faster or have more endurance or something. It makes it much more enjoyable. Gabrielle, we made it out.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it?
Yes, it
Or
was.
maybe fun isn't the right word, but you were glorious. Angoff is finally dead. We can't thank you
What about
enough.
the other
The
guys?
others have all collapsed in their tents. They're exhausted.
They didn't do
I
anything.
wanted to welcome you back.
Oh, man.
And Sir Lannis wants to talk to you. He's telling the Lion Guard commander what happened. Who knows? Maybe he wants to give you a medal or
A
something.
medal. How about a dog? I'd like the dog. Give me the dog as an achievement. That's all I want. That's all I want is that dog. Come on, doggy. Where are you? I don't even see him here. It's upsetting.
The king will be grateful for what we've done here. Some of Angoff's minions are still running loose, but it's nothing we can't handle. Maybe things will finally return to normal now.
What about all these vines?
Without Angoff's magic, hopefully the vines will wither and die.
That's an error from my
If not,
plugin.
I'm sure the Mages Guild can conjure up a spell to clear them away. I'm not too concerned about them. Yes, but I can't put my finger on it. We've heard rumblings that things up north aren't looking any better. Not necessarily vines and such, but there are whispers of other things out there that we need to be... I hear there's trouble in Coghlan Village. Something bad is happening up there. But don't worry about that right now. We just saved the people of Glenumbra. We should be celebrating. Now, where did I put it?
Where did you put what?
The king set aside this armor for the champion who defeated Angoff.
Ooh,
it was
not
a
bad.
treasure of Daggerfall, and now it belongs to you. It's your reward for all you've done for this land and its people. May luck follow you wherever you go.
And you, my friend.
Sir,
All right.
sir,
Oh, my
they
God.
took him, sir.
I'm going to guess it's that Darian guy. Oh, he's getting into trouble.
The captain. They came at night. We couldn't.
Couldn't what? Who? What
We were
captain?
returning from Daggerfall when our caravan was attacked. Bretons fighting with Daedra at their side. Killed most of us, but the captain, they took
All
the
right, calm down.
Stormhaven. Ruins. Near the border. They took him there.
All right, I will find your captain. All right, so this appears to be the main quest, at least, ending for the zone. But there's more to do. I have these two areas to go to. One of the things I like about the way they set their maps up is the quest icon doesn't change just because you've discovered it. It changes when you have completed the main quest for that area. So that helps you sort of navigate through and understand when there's content left to do. For instance, I haven't done these zone bosses. I'll get around to them eventually. Some of these houses, I haven't acquired those. But for the most part, I've gotten most of the content in the zone, and that's been pretty fun. I don't know what this burial mounds thing is. I'm guessing I'm going to find out when I get to Crosswich Village. And it looks like, I don't know where that other thing, it must be the next zone over. So this is Glenumbra, this is the next zone over. And what do I got? I don't see any quest markers. So maybe it isn't. Oh, yeah, there is one right there. Find the guard captain. So they're setting me up for the quest in the next zone, but I have a few to get done here before I head over. And Kitty's saying, in their opinion, it's a good thing that nerfs some of the solo bosses, especially now you cannot out-level them anymore. Dosha, the Fighter's Guild, was a real pain early on. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I think that Although I don't have perspective on the nerf. Again, I'm a returning player, so who didn't experience much content before. So at least for me, I didn't really, I don't have anything to compare it to. But if what you're saying is that before it was a little bit much to try to keep up with the content, I get what you're saying. I think that the problem being was when you can't defeat a boss, you're kind of stuck. I mean, you have to run around the world and ask people for help, and that can come in. But you're often people will be willing to help you, but when you got nobody in the zone or nobody has time or it's just not that kind of maybe the community hasn't developed in a way where they help each other, that can really be just deflating. And at that point, you just leave the game because what else are you going to do? So, yeah. And if the game's too easy for you, down level your gear or use less gear. There's easy ways to go down, not easy ways to go up, I think. And that, so yeah, I don't feel this kind of bleed. Having bosses be at least defeatable, and I still, even with it, I had to pop a potion. I had to make sure I geared up. I had to make sure I had food up. So it's not exactly like I could fall asleep and do it. I had to work a little bit. It's just I don't have to furiously mash all the buttons. And so I don't mind it. I like when I don't have to worry too terribly much about being able to get through the boss. I know some people, get really angry about that. They consider it a skill to be able to play these games with these rotations. I guess maybe it is a skill. I am not of that mindset, though. Like, I don't really care that much. It's a game. So when people get really bent up and they learn to play and they talk about a skill, well, skill is typing or programming or or communicating well. That's a skill to me. This is just sort of a reflexive thing, and I'm not sure that I would quite call gaming a skill, but at least that's just me. But it makes the game accessible, so I appreciate that about it. So I have to get across these zombie-plagued land. I'm not sure I know it's actually making these zombies. I guess Angoff was. But if Angoff was making these zombies, why are they still here? And who are you, Sir Marley Horace?
Help us. We can't resist much longer.
Whoa. Well, I'm guessing you're one of the undead.
We can't resist much longer. Soon we'll be forced to answer their call.
Oh my goodness, buddy, what's going on?
Our masters were the ancient rulers of High Rock, at rest these many years. Now, Bloodthorn cultists have disturbed the burial mounds and stolen the ruling regalia from the tombs of our kings.
Not the regalia.
We can't stop them.
All right. They stole his underwear.
The Bloodthorn drain our wills. If you recover the regalia they stole and return it to the crypts, it will restore.
I will find these.
These Bloodthorn are nothing more than grave robbers.
Yes.
Take back the right
who
to
took it?
control our ancient kings, just as they try to control us.
Right.
No, not us. At least not at first. They were loud, insistent voices. They're
all right.
Servants of...
So, the spirits have been disturbed by the Bloodthorn cultists, which have been a problem throughout this whole area. And they need me to sort of take away the, take the regalia back so the spirits aren't being controlled. I don't see a quest map, quest marker though. Did I miss something? Oh wait, there it is. It's right here. And there's right here. So I know I don't want to go to Spindle Clutch, but I do want to go down here. So I'm going to try taking this quest out before I head up to the town and finishing that. I would love to get the zone itself finished. And good for me. What just happened with that? There's another quest up here I can get. Down. All right, there's 3 of those guys over there. This other quest. What is this? Where are you? That's weird. Are they above me? What is going on? What is happening? I'm guessing there's a dungeon under here or something, and maybe if I hit this dungeon, I can get in there and figure out what's going on. I wonder if they're under the ground. these graves open? Nope. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Retrieve the stolen again. Yeah, before it looks like I go inside, so I'm guessing there's some sort of dungeon under here. Block. I am going to find out where they are, and hopefully I'll figure the mystery of that weird quest marker out. Oh, what is going on? Why am I traveling so far? I'm traveling like 1,000,000 miles just to get here. Tomb of the Lost Kings and the Lover's Stone. Right, that's annoying when you pick up a quest and then you have to run about 1,000,000 miles to get away from it. It's also annoying to have a quest marker on the map and not be able to get to it. Oh, well, that's fine. What is going on down here now? I don't even know what's happening. I guess I'm going to go into this house and have to run all the way back up there. What? All right. Groundskeeper's cottage. Groundskeeping is tough business. You the groundskeeper. What do we got? I got one stolen regalia. I got another one. Are they all in here? Two. We got in the cabinet. Recipes, spice mats. I got that already though. I got, let's see what we got in the cabinet. Corn. More. I got the next one. And what do we got in the crate? Some berries. And a lore book. Mage's Guild is so hard to level up. You have to get all these quest books. It seems to take just forever. All right, I've got that, and I have to return to the proper tombs. What? Okay, so I have to return them to these zoned tombs up there. Tomb of the Lost King, and then burial mounds. It's annoying actually that did I miss a quest? I'm just gonna pop down here to take a peek. See if I missed some quests. What do we got going on? Let's see. Something that I'm sort of interested in based on what someone just said before, by the way. Yeah, I did miss a quest. Oh, so many quests, so much content. Something I'm interested in based on what someone did before is that they were saying they use one set of bars for area effect, one set of bars for single attack.
Where has her ladyship
It seems to me that when I
gotten
do that, though, I have to keep two different sets of gear slotted in. So I have to have two different shields, two different hand weapons. If that's the case, let me know. If there's a way to use the same bars, let me know,
Have
though.
you come at the
I'm not really
summons of
sure
her
what else
ladyship?
to do there, though. No, I don't know who
Lady
this
Laurent,
ladyship is.
a Daggerfall noble who collects ancient artifacts.
What do you mean?
Well, supper is nearly ready. It's not like her ladyship to be late for dinner. Especially when she asked me to.
That's unfortunate. All right, so her ladyship is now missing. All right, I'm going to enter the tomb and find out what's going on down here. I missed this quest earlier. I'll worry about the lost regalia in a second since I'm standing right here and I don't want to run back. And I'm a bit of a completionist, at least right now. What am I stealing? It's a tomb. Why is it stealing from here? Tomb of the Lost King. The honored Breton royalty of the last 3,000 years have been buried at the great cemetery of Bedron, which is where I was just before. But occasionally there have been a king or queen who seemed more appropriately to bury out here. So I guess they have their own tomb. Forgotten Seneschal. That would seem to be fitting with the motif. Right.
You've come to the tomb for treasure, of course.
Of course I have.
In life, I was the royal seneschal of King Anton of Daggerfall. I died in this tomb along with my king. His Majesty's bones have turned to dust, but I remain. Perhaps we can help each other. A noble with delusions of treasure hunting entered the tomb earlier. I can help you find the vault she seeks. In return, you shall help. Let's make sure you actually have the skills I require before we discuss that. I want to see how you deal with the traps my former liege put in place. Go.
All right. A test by the spirit. So why is she in here? What is, I guess they want to get rid of her. I hope they won't want me to kill her. I will say, by the way, that dog showed up earlier. I really wish I should look. So that dog, I'm going to look to see if it's in collectibles, non-combat pets. I'm just looking just in case he was added. I don't even see a slot for that dog. I would love if that dog became one of my pets. I would love it. I don't see anything in mementos. I don't see, of course, he's not going to be a mount, obviously. Oh, man, assistance. Just a smuggler. All right. I would love to get that dog as a pet. Hello, lady.
Ah, another adventurer.
You look like the last lady.
Of course you know who I am. I'm famous, as you know.
Yeah, your dude sent me to find you.
Excellent. My other assistant has been... well, I suppose the technical term is consumed. I told her not to get so close to that giant lizard. Anyway, I could use your help.
Let
I'm
me
going
guess.
to recover
Kill
the
somebody
legendary
and take
jeweled
treasure.
crown of Anton. Well, as soon as we can get into the locked vault. I understand the place is filthy with traps and undead creatures. You see where I'm going with this, don't you?
Yeah. Let me get something
You
for
do understand. 4 keys open the vault. The keys of flames, blades, strife, and crowns. 3 of the keys are hidden in this tomb. I have the 4th key. It's an heirloom. Been in my family for generations. Take it, and get the other keys.
All right. I have to get these themed keys and try to open the tomb. Now, I wonder if that means there's some trap or some theme to the adventure sort of built around it, but there's no way to tell but to get in here. How big of an area we're talking about? Not terribly big. I tend to go right, and that's been messing me up. So maybe instead of messing myself up, I'm going to go left this time after I do searching here. Honey, some berries. Come on, give me a recipe. Good recipe. Seaweed, not a recipe. More seaweed. What's seaweed doing in the dungeon? Rye. Okay. Ooh, that's cool looking. Look at that. Traps. Pretty cool. Barley, wheat. More barley and more wheat. And some warriors. Alright. I'm here to see your boss. Told me you had some keys. Skeletoning must be such a boring job. You pretty much stand around forever.
A king must
a couple
tend to
thousand
eat
years
the bright flames of his
until
kingdom.
someone whacks you on the head. I missed a lot of that. This must be the key of flame. Alright, ancient brazier. I'm assuming all I have to do is light them all at first, but let's see if that's true. I heard some clue that that spirit dropped, but I was in combat, so I actually didn't catch it. I hope that didn't mean I'm going to be behind the 8 ball, but we're going to have to see how that goes. All right, so they're all lit. That brought this crystal here. Oh, that is not good. That is going to leave a mark. Oh, darn it. All right, so something happened where these turned off. I got the first one lit. I got that one lit. I can't see the other one, so I can't see if they're going off. Got that one lit, and I got... Nope, they've gone off. That one over here went off. So do I have to... Are they only on for a certain amount of time? Is that it? How about if I run? I'll try running. Alright, crystal on. Aha! Got it! Alright, fair enough. I was wondering if it had to be lit in a certain order, but there's a couple of dungeons earlier in one of the other areas that had to do that, and I just couldn't figure it out. So I ended up just fingering it. I spam. I just light whatever I can or click whatever interfaces I can until I eventually get it right. And that is less satisfying, but sometimes profoundly necessary for a dummy like me. What do we got here? All right, you stop digging through there. And notice as I get up in level, by the way, my what am I doing now? What are you doing? That my stat recovery is beginning to get up to be a factor for me.
A king must be neither too close nor too distant from those who serve his kingdom.
All right, a king must be neither too close nor too distant. I don't know what that means. So I'm gonna guess I have to take the right path and either not run across these things, or I have to run through them in a certain order. So I'm gonna assume I don't want to touch them. That'll be, let me try that first. And then if I do, I'll get teleported out. All right, that must be it. That was pretty good. There's a couple other caves where you do that. If you touch the wrong thing, you get teleported out. I've seen that mechanism before. That's somewhat frustrating. I'm going to run across one to see if that's what happens. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. So if you run across one and hit it, it throws you back to the entrance. All right, pretty good riddle. I anticipated that ahead of time, thankfully. Nothing, rice, some honey, some other things like that. Whoop, you go away from me. Nothing world shattering there in the treasure. All right, I got this last one, and then I'm gonna have to get up here, I'm sure. Get around these creatures, because there's no point in me fighting with them. They're not guarding anything. Some raw flax. Oh, poop. Activated my special when I did not mean to do that. Oh well, it won't be available for me. Every once in a while I do that. I activate the last, my ultimate, just before I go into a boss fight.
And strategy, never risking his kingdom with reckless actions.
All right. Something about reckless actions. I am gonna assume I can get around this just by jumping over into the side. Why would I run over that? It doesn't seem to be very intelligent. Alright, so I can get around here if I wait for this to go down. Oh, yikes. No, my kitty cat. My kitty cat's in there. Alright. Take this one. Key of Blades. And we're still going. Alright, place the keys in the proper location. So that will get out of here. And I'm assuming I have to go up here, up these, ooh, I hit myself in a mobile. I assume I have to go up these stairs and figure out something at the top, and I'm probably going to have to duke it out with somebody. So what is going on here? What is this? Why are my quest markers below? Okay, sconces. Aha! I put the crystals appear on the pedestals once I get them in place. Fair enough. And the last one that should open the door. Looks like he's trying to appear. I don't know what's going on there.
With blade, a king defeats his enemies. In flames, a kingdom is forged. You have passed the trial of kings. A king prevails. The vault shall open.
Okay, I don't know if that was a clue. Something about a blade.
Approach the vault. I will speak to you there.
Shields, nothing in here. Looks that shattering. All right, in ESO, Backstab Kitty saying in ESO, the problem is that you have to use crowns to get pets. It is very hard to collect them all this way. Same goes for mounts. Yeah. Is it there are? I didn't realize that. So are there no pets available through the main questing? You can't quest for a pet. That actually kind of frustrates me. I'm glad they're cosmetic only, but I would like to be able to get things like that in game, especially like the dog. I would love for that dog to be as a quest reward. I can put him in my house now. I really would love that. I've seen people run around with that dog, and I haven't seen the ability to buy him. So maybe I'm just missing where you can get him.
I helped you get this far, so return the favor and free me from this prison.
You just don't be so sassy, mister.
Vault, so listen well. There are 2 crowns inside, but you may take only one. One is King Anton's jeweled crown. The other bears the curse that binds me here. I want you to take the cursed crown. No, your soul is already trapped elsewhere. But if anyone else touches it, they will be bound here. They will take my place, and I will be free.
What?
Greed and cowardice have a price. She craves this tomb's treasures, but she wants you to take the risks. I would consider this justice.
All right, so it looks like I have a bit of a moral choice to make. I can take the king's crown, which is what the noble lady is looking for, or I can take this cursed crown that will free this spirit and give it to her, and it will trap her in this tomb. He considers that fair price because he wants out, and for her greed, she will suffer. What am I going to do? I don't know. I would love to hear what... Ooh, that's a nasty-looking dude. I don't know what you would do. I'd love to hear what you would do. Leave it down in the comments or drop it in the chat. I wonder what you do. I am going to say that morally, it is not right, even though the woman is kind of a jerk. Being a jerk should not be a death sentence. Being greedy shouldn't necessarily be a death sentence either. So I am not going to kill her just to free that spirit. That spirit is down here through some vow he made to this king. It's his servant. I wish I could free him, but I am not going to entrap an innocent life because this guy now regrets whatever pact he made in life. So he had his choice. He made it. He's here. I am not going to send an innocent to their doom because he is an a-hole. All right, I got my food up. I'm going to have to take this monster down. I may not be able to talk a whole lot during it, so I am going to switch out and take this combat on. Abilities for this creature. All right. Woo, wasn't too bad. Didn't even have to pop a potion. I got some magic potion out of some experience. Jeweled crown, or I got the cursed crown. As I said before, I just don't think it's right to seal that young lady down here. Even though she's a jerk, she may be a little greedy. She's alive, and you never know. Someone could change, and she could become a brilliant person later on. That dude has already made his choices. He's here. So I'm going to grab the jeweled crown, which is the one she wants. And leave that spirit here in the tomb. What's going on there? What are those guys doing? I guess that's my additional way out. Could jump down there if I wanted to take these dudes out there. I like that occasionally they throw in these moral choices that you can do something with, changes the outcome of some of the quests. Yeah, they're small. Who cares? You know, it's fun to have little sort of modifications you can make, or give you a little choice, even if it's just cosmetic. I'm glad that they do that. So I am happy that they do that quest. It's pretty good design overall. Any more of these barrels I can get into? Nope. Always after my new recipes. Not finding anything in here. All right. Backstab Kitty's rubbing it in and saying not spoiling it. Cause low. Okay. Well, don't spoil it. I don't know if you mean the dog or this. Yeah, don't spoil it for me. Please don't. I'm just saying I would love that dog to have him as a pet. Someone to hang around. If I know Elder Scrolls, they're probably going to end up being some sort of Daedra, and I'm going to feel like a fool for having like the dog in the first place. But I still am hopeful that that dog ends up being by my side the whole time.
Ah, you're back, and in a timely manner. Did you find the crown?
Here's your crown.
That's it. The jeweled crown of Anton. You are quite the capable dungeon delver. Please, place the crown on the table so that I can look upon its splendor. Stibbins, could you come and put this lovely crown away, please?
Of course, my lady.
Oh my goodness. Stibbins is the one who would have...
Why isn't he bound?
So what would have happened had I gotten that cursed crown?
My lady, safe
And south.
His Stibbins would have been screwed over in the dungeon.
That's not the right crown.
You would have gotten that servant killed,
You
dude.
betrayed me. Betrayed me.
I did not betray you. I choose not to
I'll
be
go
evil.
see about more fish for the stew, my lady.
That was pretty cool. All right, that was pretty cool. Had I gotten out and I wonder if I could steal that crown back. That'd be cool. Had I gotten out and made that, what do we got here? Anything important? And actually put the crown on the table like the ghost had wanted me to, it would not have been the woman who was trapped. Ooh, I'm gonna steal that. Oh, that's good. I got a pattern for carpet. That's good. It would have been that servant who got trapped in the world and not his mistress, which, ooh, another one. Do I know this? It's known. Don't need it. And so I would have felt like total doo-doo. I am very happy with that quest. That was actually pretty fun. So that was pretty fun. Would have served me right had I thought I knew a little bit better. So yeah, I love that they throw those little moral quandaries in occasionally. That adds a little flavor to the game. It makes the quests fun. I would love to, if you remember this quest. I know that if you played the game before, you probably played that quest a long time in the past. But if you remember what choice you made, I would love to hear it. Love to hear in the chat or the comments if you've had some. Were you surprised by it? Did you think it was fine to take that person out? And how did you feel if you chose that route and the servant got taken instead? I'd sort of love to hear what the outcome of that was for you. And if you felt bad about it afterwards, that would be somewhat funny. It'd be fun to hear. All right, back to this quest, which is the spirits which do not want to be corrupted by the bloodthorns. I have recovered the raiments that were in that house, and I need to return them to the tombs because apparently that will give them the strength to hold out from the corruption of being summoned. Knight of the Iron Sun. What are you doing down here?
I was too weak to protect the tomb of my lord, the Iron Son of High Rock.
Don't take it so hard, my man. You're a spirit.
He was a mighty ruler of ancient Camlorn. His powerful blade...
All right. What do we got down here? I'm going to have to fight somebody or just put it back? Aha. Some bloodthorns down here doing bloodthorny evil stuff.
Once again, the Iron King's flame will burn those who try to steal his blade.
I'm going to kill you just for being that guy in the wrong place. Didn't get my interrupt off that time. Looks like Ancient Scrolls of Dwemer. Lore book discovered. So more mage experience. Mage experience, always a good thing. Any recipes? No recipes. No boxes. No books. No nothing else. No chests. Alright, I've got 3 more of these to get back into the graves. And that, I hope, will free the spirits so they're no longer stuck in servitude. Or at least they're not going to be transferred into evil spirits. Knight of the Golden Prince, what are you doing?
I failed to protect the regalia of my exalted lord, the Golden Prince.
Who is the Golden Prince?
He was a ruler of great wealth and renown. He brought trade and prosperity to High Rock. The prince's power was in his vast reserve.
All right, so looks like a rare, good leader. Who else is down here? All right, got 2 of them this time. You stop digging around in old graves. That's for me to do. Ah, my interrupt worked that time. You get some more of this too. Bloodthorns are very tricky. You know, being that the bloodthorns are still here and the dog is still around, I wonder if that dog is in league with them or even heading them. Ooh, that'd be terrible.
Once more, the pride of the Golden Prince protects his treasures.
Bitter greens, some ginger. Can't get anything out of these graves. Nope, nothing. The chest doesn't look accessible. What's this bag? Mint. Minty fresh. Minty fresh. Alright. 2 more now. And these are old Breton kings that were once apparently good and buried here, and their spirits are attempting to be corrupted or used by the bloodthorn zombies, turned into zombies of some kind or something like that. I don't know. But we will free them, and it will not matter.
I have failed in my duty. I could not defend the trophies of the Supreme. My lord was a hunter. He stalked dangerous game from Skyrim to Valenwood. No beast could elude him,
All right. Let's see. Any bloodthornies down here? None of that. Ooh, big mammoth. Well, he was a hunter, it said.
Once more, the Ivory Lord's tusk defends his
nice
treasures.
Horn. Let's see. What do we got here? All right. One more. We'll see what this is. What's going on with this graveyard. Hopefully, it'll advance the story some, and it won't just be. I have to say, this is not the most interesting quest I have ever been on. I don't quite get the points of what they're trying to tell me. So if there's some backstory, I'm missing it. You know, that's fine. That's fine. Not everything can be a home run. But I do feel like I'm not quite sure. It looks like they just weren't sure what to do, so they dropped this graveyard. A big empty spot in the map, so they dropped this graveyard here.
I suffer eternal dishonor for failing my lady, the Emerald Princess.
Who was the Emerald Princess?
She was our beloved ruler, a queen with martial skills and unsurpassed beauty. Her shield, the green aegis, protected her in battle. It was the symbol of our undying loyalty to her.
Backstab Kitty's asking if I've ever played the Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim. Yes, definitely played the Dark Brotherhood. Skyrim is a terrible game. I played terrible in the best way. I played it. It keeps bringing me back. I probably played the game through, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. I have done both the pro Brotherhood and anti Brotherhood quest in the line. My favorite character in Skyrim happened to be Khajiit, sort of archer, assassin. Very enjoyable for me. Herald Windvale. Is this a related character? Why are you asking that? It's interesting. I wonder if that's a related character to one of the. I think this is 600 years before. I wonder if the character is related to one of the Dark Brotherhood folks. So, but yeah, I have done.
The Green Aegis defends its lady's resting place.
Okay. Yeah, I've done the Dark Brotherhood questline. Loved it. I have that quest to do in Elder Scrolls Online. Have not done that questline yet, though. Why do you ask?
Wait, I'm not your enemy.
I wasn't going to kill you, buddy.
I'm hiding. I didn't know the Bloodthorns were going to desecrate this burial site. My ancestors are buried here. My great-great-grandfather appeared before me, demanded I atone for the desecration. If I don't, he said he'd haunt me. Forever. I made a mistake when I joined them. If I go back out there, they'll kill me. Please, help me appease my ancestors. The Bloodthorn stole... Look for the tombs of the Windvale Patriarch, Matriarch, and the Scion. They were very important in...
All right. So I have to get some candles and put them at the gravesite of this Bloodthorn cultist who ended up discovering that this was some old family tombs of theirs. I don't know why I'm always helping these people.
Sheathe your weapon. I may be dead, but I am not your enemy. Mortal, know that I am Donel Dellen, once King of Daggerfall. Your deeds have not gone unnoticed, and I thank you for your help. However, the danger has not passed. These necromancers plan to enslave us and turn us against our The Bloodthorn no longer desecrate our tombs, but our faithful knights are still at risk. The grave robbers use soul-twisting sorcery to enslave them. Slay these Bloodthorn cultists. Rescue the spirits they are trying to enslave. To my great sorrow, Sir Grandin has already heeded their evil call. Find his tomb to the east and destroy him. When that is done, find me on the mountain. Slay the Bloodthorns. Break their hold over our servants. Our servants have been loyal and true. Such commitment must not be repaid.
All right, so that's actually a little bit better. I have to go to this grave and subdue some spirits on the way. So I'll go light these candles. I'll subdue some spirits as I go and see what I can get done. So I don't know quite. Does it mean there's zombies? Are the zombies the spirits? They're remarkably well preserved for people who are supposed to have been dead for a long time. I'm going to guess these are recent additions or travelers or guards in the area that were killed as they went by. That did not help me with the spirits that I'm supposed to free, so I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Bloodthorn Ravager. Maybe I'm supposed to kill the Bloodthorns. No, it's never a bad thing to kill a bunch of Bloodthorns, so that's what I am going to do right now. So let me try, see what happens when I take this way. That person is annoying me. What's that? What's going on there? Subdue spirit. Alright, so this looks to be it. Looks like they... I was paying attention to what was going on and not looking at the person attacking me. It looks like they're outside and they're probably being killed by other players, so I didn't see them. Looks like they're outside the tombs, and I have to stop them from raising.
At long last, my thoughts are once again my own.
And corrupting the spirits. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. The zombies are not what I'm after, but the people at these grave sites are what I'm after. So, down here, I'm going to find one more and jump over there. Oh man, I didn't even see him. That's the one thing about the not being able to target folks is you don't realize what they're doing. You get no indicator if they're not on your screen. And in some of these tight little areas in combat, the way the camera rotation works, you end up not being able to see what's going on. And that's
Screams have ended, and I can think again.
It's never fun having something happen that you don't have any awareness of and have no control over, and you have to sort of guess what that was about after the fact. So here again, since I go against the wall, if this person were to start their power attack on me, it's very difficult for me to see. All right, so I've got those.
Your help is greatly appreciated.
Spirits freed. I have to go return the candles to help satisfy this person's ancestors from the major screw up they did about getting involved in this cult. But sure, I'm kind-hearted enough even to help Bloodthorn cultists. So Backstab Kitty was asking about the Dark Brotherhood, the part where they ended in Skyrim, by the way. The Dark Brotherhood's quest line is Skyrim, the part where they attacked the Sanctuary. By the way, spoilers for that. It's a several-year-old game, but if you haven't played it, that's no big deal. Reloaded several times, just trying to save one member more, even though I knew it was scripted. Yeah, I remember that. I actually don't recall. I played several times, and I don't recall what all the outcomes were. There weren't a whole lot of Dark Brotherhood members that I remember liking tremendously. The vampire child was kind of cool, but they were all murderers at the end of the day. Sort of the werewolf was pretty cool. Yeah, a couple of them are all right. Well, I don't think I needed to go down here. For some reason, I went down here. Let me just finish this person off and go back up. Yeah, they were pretty good. I remember that being a... I don't know why. For some reason, I was thinking that was in Oblivion, not in Skyrim. And I played Oblivion again recently, too, so... Huh. Place a candle at the Founder's Tomb. So I have to get a candle and place it at the Founder's Tomb. Where am I going now? Find candles at the Bloodthorn cultists. So I suppose I have to kill a few of these and get some candles to lay at the tomb. And I'm going to have to bop a couple of Bloodthorn cultists so they dispense them for me. I don't know if they have to be actually called, but sometimes when they get specific namings, it's unclear. Do I have to actually get a mob block? A mob named Bloodthorn cultist, or do I just get any Bloodthorn mob in the region? Didn't go away. And Sacred Candles, I got 2 of them. Okay. Let me kill another set just to... Man, they got me running all over the place. So I have got to run... Where am I going? Killister Garden. So I got to run all the way down here, light the candles, honor the dead, and that frees that Bloodthorn cultist from his ancestors' wrath. Then I got to run up here. I got to kill the spirit of Sir whatever his face is. Sir G-Man. And I think that'll free the spirits, and that'll finish this a little little area. So hopefully this is getting close to done. I was hoping to finish off this this set of quests in this zone for this stream, which I will do.
What's this? You're not my idiot descendant. You're not even a member of my family.
No, I'm not. I'm better at this than he is.
You're placing the sacred candles instead of my worthless descendant. I can see that. So he's afraid to face his former comrades? He should fear the wrath of the angry dead more. Still, he has made an effort. Of a sort.
How disappointing.
Return to Harald. Tell him to renounce the cult and continue to make amends, or he'll suffer the vengeance of the dead. Now go.
All right, I'll tell your worthless descendant. There he is. So he was hiding behind that post the whole time.
What did great-grandfather tell you? Am I back in good graces? I renounced the cult and promised to honor my ancestors, but from a much safer distance.
Yes, go
I'll
do
make my way
something
out of here.
worthwhile.
Maybe go to Daggerfall or start a new life somewhere else.
All right, complete quest. I'm almost level 21. I have to take this last kill Sir Grandin. I have to take him out to please the spirits. I have to beg forgiveness from everybody on the stream. This has been just too long for me. I got to go to a little bio break really quick. I'm going to be back just in a second. I will be back one moment. Thank you for your patience, everybody. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I beg your forgiveness and sincerely apologize. But the body does what the body does. All right, so I got to get up. Kill Sir Grand. Backstab Kitty seems to be offended that I badmouth their Dark Brotherhood family. Yeah. Well, death is part of their cycle. I did like them. I thought the Dark Brotherhood quest was really good, in both in Skyrim and in Oblivion. I liked it because you can oh, a chest, tasty chest. Intermediate. I'll be quiet as I pick this lock. All right, got it. What do we got? Steel Maul of Shock and a Bow of the Weird Tree. What's the maul like? That might actually be a better two-handed weapon for me. If it is, I will use it. What do I got here? I got an axe, 1294, and it looks like a slightly better weapon for me. So what the heck, I'm going to go ahead and use it. I don't really use my two-handed weapon a lot. I just use it for openers occasionally. So I will use it for that. Yeah, the Dark Brotherhood quest was excellent in both Skyrim and Oblivion. Actually, I think I might have preferred it a little bit in Oblivion, but I played them both recently, so I'm mixing them up. What I would love to hear is the Dark Brotherhood quest in this game worth it. I'm still debating on my Nightblade. I have to level this character up because my Nightblade is almost 30th level. So all the alts were falling behind. And if I'm going to go through the part of crafting arms and armor for myself, I have to be a little bit more conscious of where I'm going. And I need food again. My food buff is worn off. So food. But I wonder if I am wondering if the Dark Brotherhood quest and the Thieves Guild quest in this game is as good as they have been previously. So I'm still debating what to do when I get back to that. Die! Behind him. I'm guessing this person was just sort of hanging out until someone engaged the block. So someone engage this person. Oak Restoration Staff and some Ectoplasm. Okay, Oak Restoration Staff is pretty decent. Talk to King Donald and the spirits. Yeah, I'm sort of interested in doing that. When I catch this character up and my healer up a little bit, I'm going to go back to my Nightblade, which I tend to enjoy a little bit more. And I'm going to sort of start, I believe, the Thieves Guild quest line next and probably do the Dark Brotherhood after that. So rather than doing zone quests, that's probably what I'll do with the Nightblade. When I switch back to these characters, I'll do these zone quests. So King, I set your spirit his spirit to rest.
My brother and sister monarchs await word of your success.
He's dead.
We knew you could defeat the Bloodthorn cultists. And now the time has come. Please remain and bear witness. Without your aid, we'd be slaves, forced by the Bloodthorns to smite our own descendants. Even kings may bend a knee to those they honor. Release us to our final rest.
That's cool. That is cool. Release the kings. You are released, my king.
Have we your leave to depart?
Farewell, King Donald.
Farewell, mortal. Your actions this day shall prove a decisive blow to the Bloodthorn cult and their evil master.
Excellent. Now I am level 21. Made it! That was pretty cool. That actually started out really lame. I didn't really see the point in the quest up until there. And yeah, this time though, it ended pretty well. I can never get my gear bonus up here very well. That was pretty cool, I have to admit. I liked it. Fun, and it made the world feel adaptive. So this last set of quests around Crosswitch, I think that is the last thing. I have this quest down here that's a dungeon. Too much for me. I can't get through it. So the dungeon quest I don't consider part of the normal zone quest. So I believe that this quest up in Crosswitch will be the last set of quests to do. And that should finish in this zone. That should finish off the zone for me. That's a pretty good run. Level 21. I think my healer alt is level 22, and my Nightblade is somewhere around 26 or 27. So keeping them within sort of a 5-level bracket of each other, that's a pretty good quest. Pretty good coverage anyway. Backstab Kitty saying, starting the Dark Brother quest is very interesting. You should know why when you tried it. Not spoiling more. Okay. That would be great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to those quest sets. So yeah, I think since it's specific and I only really I don't want to do, at least out of the box, I'm not going to do all of Dark Brotherhood with every character. I'm a little roleplay light in this game so far, since it's me talking over it the whole time. I generally actually kind of like role-playing. I've mostly been trying to experience the game, so I haven't been doing it too in-depth with this, but I enjoy role-playing quite a bit. So I even tend to do it in my mind, at least when I'm playing these characters out. So this character being a warrior, not going to go down the Dark Brotherhood or the Thieves Guild content all that much. But my Nightblade definitely will. Same thing with my healer. My healer is definitely not going to do that. What is this letter? Letter to Ando. Ando. Looks like a town in the midst of some trouble. What are these? Red Rook Enforcer. Oh, these are the Red Rooks they said. So I guess hopefully I'll take these guys out and free this town so it'll be available to me for crafting. But let's find out what is going on. Red Rooks seem to have captured this town. So we want to liberate it. Where is everybody? What do we got here? Boy, they have put a kibosh on the enjoyment in this town. Must be somebody above me. Not much going on in the inn these days. Where you at? All right.
I regret the day I ever involved myself with these Red Rook bastards. By the 8, this ends here.
I am here to help the resistance.
These damned Red Rooks. They destroyed my town, and now they're trying to take over Crosswitch. I made a vow. I will have my revenge.
And
I'm going to rally the people of Crosswitch to take back their town.
If you have not done the quest before, this guy was in a quest earlier in the zone where his village was essentially wiped out by the Red Rooks. You did get them out of there, or at least get their leader out. He was looking for his father, who did survive, if I remember the quest correctly, but he was none too happy about the Red Rooks still. So now he's up here trying to get rid of the last of them. What do you need me to do, buddy?
Townsfolk are scared. If they stick their necks out, they end up as slaves in the mines. Or worse. We need the support of the town council. The few that haven't been dragged off to the mines need to show the people how to stand up to these curs.
I will talk to the
counselors. We need the support of the town council. Without them, the rest of the townsfolk will be too afraid to fight back.
All right. So I got to go talk to the different towns councilor to get them to reject. I guess they cut some kind of deal where the Red Rooks are here in town. I love that name, by the way. Here in town, taking the place over. So they need to be cast off. We got another quest here. What's going on with you?
Someone has to stand up to these Red... Did you meet with Tamian Sellen? He's got the right idea. Time to take... The Red Rookin forces have threatened, extorted, or beaten us at every turn. They claim it's for our own protection, but they just want our gold. They're not even honest about their thievery. I say it's time to fight back.
I like your spirit, my man, and I will help.
That's what I wanted to hear. If you stand up to those greedy bastards, it will show the rest of the town that we can take back Crosswitch.
I will deal with that. All right, so I got to take out some enforcers. Can I talk to them? Or do I just sort of kill them? All right, I'm not against killing folk. Fair enough.
This town belongs to the Red Rooks
now. No, it does not. You're going to be 12 kinds of dead in a second. Even if I don't use my block properly. I wonder if that aggroes the whole town against me. Hope not.
Free at last.
Okay, haha. Did not aggro the whole town. I said I was supposed to take out some enforcers, so let's see if I can just random folks. Block. Nope, did not advance the quest. Fair enough. Alright, I will find these harassed citizens as I run around and talk to the counselors. Backstab Kitty's recommending if you like to RPing for both Skyrim and ESO, you could try the Kajat Speak mod / add-on. It's done very nicely. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it. I'll check it out. I'm guessing it takes out first-person pronouns and instead adds this one as they normally do. I like to type that personally. For some reason, I just like actually coming up with the voice of the character anyway. But fair enough. If it's a good, I'd love to check out that mod, and I will. What is going on there? What are you doing, buddy? Ograt.
They killed Esif. They gave Gelves everything he demanded to keep the townsfolk safe, even surrendered his own house. They killed Esif anyway. Our beloved mayor. They killed him in cold blood. Weren't you listening? They killed him. First they ran the watch out of town. Then they took over our businesses. Now they murdered the mayor. They extort, threaten, and murder to their heart's content.
You got to join the rebellion, my man.
Are you mad? Everyone who tried is either dead or enslaved in the mines. We can't win. The Red Rooks are too powerful. I just lost my best friend. I don't want to lose anyone else.
It does not sound like the mayor gave up.
You didn't even know him. You No, you're right. Heesif wasn't a soldier, but he was a strategist. He was trying to work around these bastards. The least I can do is continue what he started. I'll do whatever Selen asks.
Fair enough. Join the rebellion. Here's a brown coat for you. Let us work on. Sorry, Mayor. Well, that's a weird looking mayor. Got a little woad. That dude is scared as heck. He's got a shield. He's supposed to be a fighter. Stand up.
You'll die for interfering with the Red Rooks.
Will I? You'd think after killing a few hundred of these people, they would be a little bit more cautious, or at least treat me like an end boss and bring everybody with them. All right, what else we got out here? I got to get to 2 more counselors to rally the people of Crosswedge. There's another Red Hood Greater. There is another townsperson being harassed. Ruin your day, looter.
Move the sides!
Go your way in peace, my citizen.
I'd never escape.
All right, take this person out.
Town belongs to the Red Rooks now.
No, it did not. They keep telling me that.
Go around!
I like the story. I love the build up and sort of the characterization of these different factions in town. I wonder if I don't know if these stay with you as you go through additional zones, but I like it. I like building towards things. So role-playing's a difficult thing for me, by the way. We were talking about that. I love the role-playing games. Gary Gygax, founder of Dungeons and Dragons, one of the founders of Dungeons and Dragons, a few years ago wrote a great piece about role-playing in MMOs that I actually kind of agree with. I think that role-playing in single-player games is a dicey prospect. It's sort of a role-playing could be anything, so I'm not one of these people who tell other people what role-playing is or try to define a single path for role-playing. Just do whatever you enjoy. If you're playing a single-player game, tells your story to you and you enjoy it, then by all means do it. Oh, look at that kitty cat. That's a cool cat. That is a cool cat. But what Gary Gygax's premise was that role-playing is essentially a role played to someone. So that in a single-player game like Elder Scrolls Skyrim, he would not call that role-playing because you're not really playing it to anyone. And I actually kind of agree, although I actually play for the story, and it is a story-driven game, and I appreciate the story. The role-playing portion of it is something that's a little bit weak to me. Role-playing in MMOs, you're able to do because you are playing to other people. However, most of the time I'm not playing with somebody, so I don't know if I'm really role-playing here. All right, counselor.
Who are you? Another Red Rook dog barking for its masters? I've got bad news for you, Hound. I'm fed up. Whatever you want, the answer is no.
I like your sass, man. I like your sass.
Oh? Well, why didn't you say so? The Red Rooks took over my mine. They're forcing the miners to work until they drop. You want to stop the Red Rooks? How about running them through with a sword? That'd be damn useful.
I am working on it. My man. Got one sword and a lot of Red Rooks.
That young fellow. But standing around doing nothing doesn't sit well with me either. I'm not much use in a battle, but I can spread the word. We'll raise an army to deal with these Red Rooks.
I like it.
Let Selen know I'm with him.
You got it, my man. So on role playing, yeah, in a multiplayer game, you can do a little bit of role playing. At least it's much closer to the traditional idea of role playing. Maybe it's sort of like someone like Gary Gygax would define it, and I tend to agree with that. Again, everybody's sort of take on role playing a little different. I enjoy role playing quite a bit, but role playing in MMOs has evolved into something that I don't like as much. It sort of seems more like. Role-playing to me is a back-and-forth exchange. It's sort of the not surprising. I'm an older gamer. I cut my teeth around sort of playing Dungeons and Dragons with friends of mine. So when I role play, I like that sort of improvisational nature of role playing that you would get from around the table, where you're playing off each other. You have a dialogue going back and forth between the two of you, and that really, to me, that is what I mean by I agree with Gary Gygax's premise that it takes role playing to someone else. So I like it has to be a dialogue at minimum to be actually role playing. For me, if most people approach role playing in MMOs as a monologue, and what I mean by that is they mix in. Let me finish this question.
Did you teach those red rooks a
I
lesson?
sure did, my man.
I don't know what happened to us. We're mountain folk.
But role playing in MMOs have become too much of a case of someone just wanting to emote in game with their little angsty stuff, or just be a monologue, tell you one thing and not really be reactive. So to me, that's not role playing, and it's not particularly interesting. If I want that, books do that very well. I'm not a frustrated author, so that's not why I'm playing these games. I just enjoy it. I like cutting up and having a good time. So for people who do a lot of forum-based role-playing and stuff like that, which is what most MMOs do, I got to say it's not really particularly entertaining to me.
Blessed Mara, why is this happening? What did we do to deserve this trouble? You better go. They'll be back at any moment to demand more gold from me.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
Are you mad? Selen wants the people to rise up and fight. That would be suicide. Still, the Red Rooks harass me every day, demanding more and more gold. Oh no, I think I hear them now.
She's a little paranoid.
You probably think I'm just foolish.
Yes, I do.
Imagining Red Rooks around every corner.
Yes, I do.
But those nasty bandits are rude, greedy, and dangerous. I don't want to end up poor and destitute. Your willingness to help shames me.
It does.
You're right. I must be strong if we
All
are
right,
ever-
be strong, counselor. I've got everybody to agree to help this guy. Let's go ahead and kick this rebellion off. So anyway, yeah, I enjoy the story elements. I enjoy the story elements of this of ESO that I'm playing as single player. But yeah, it doesn't feel as strongly like role playing to me. Role playing guilds help with that. They tend to be a little angsty. They take a lot of time. So I'm always trapped in this port where the kind of game I like, I don't seem to be able to. What's downstairs? I don't seem to be able to find, and it requires such a sort of narrow definition of what I enjoy from other players that it's just I'm too picky to find it, so why bother? So instead, what I choose to do is I play the game for what it is, for what I'm able to find in the world and what I'm able to enjoy. So I try not to overload it with expectations and just get through and enjoy it. So that's what I end up doing, and that's what I'm doing right now. All right, Tamian, let's go, buddy. Let's get this
I have
on.
some good news and some bad news.
Oh.
The good news is that the people have begun to rally around the idea of resisting the Red Rooks. The bad news is the Red Rooks have
That's
taken
good.
notice.
Let's just gotta punch him in the face, man.
This is just the thing we need to inspire the people. Now the Resistance can get to work on anyone who stands up to Sternus Gelves ends up in the Crosswitch mines. He works his prisoners to death down there. We need to close the mines and take that The Red Rooks took control of the mines when they arrived. They worked the miners night and day. And they also use the mines as a prison for anyone who causes trouble. Counselor Leah, Smith Suriel, and Len the Innkeeper were all sent into the mines.
All right.
That would be perfect.
Looks like I'm gonna have to
If
free
you can
them.
free Len, Suriel, and Counselor Leah, the entire town will gain confidence. Let them know we're organizing. Maybe help some of the miners as well. Then meet me behind the inn when you're finished.
I can
Talk
do
to
that.
any miners you can get close to without arousing suspicion. Let them know we're organizing. Your actions will raise the town's morale. I'm sure of it.
All right, so we are ready to start this rebellion. It looks like the town folk are all, the ones that were difficult are all down in the mines. I need to get down there. I need to tell them that this rebellion is on, and we are going to take these folks out. What is going on here? Aha! Whoa! Take that. So they've all turned aggro to me. They know something's up. And they're going to try to keep me from reaching the mines. I don't think it's going to work out so well for you, buddy. All right. Ooh, a minor glyph of reduced feet cost. I don't think I have anything to put that on, though. That's all right. All of the rooks are now aggro to me, so they're going to attack me on sight. Where am I going from here? Those are the mines. I got to get down into the mines and free the rest of the town people who are being kept prisoner. And this is pretty cool. I know once I get through this quest, these resources are going to become available to me, and this town is going to get back to normal. So I'm happy about that. My gear is still pretty good. I shouldn't have a problem if there's a boss fight involved here. I'm only one level higher than most of my gear. I just made a bunch of new gear before I embarked in this set of quests. Should have my shield up for that. What do we got around here? Any chests I see? Anything like that? Nothing. Let me just get down into mine. See if I can get around this person. Good. Didn't notice me. All right. I'm going to guess there's going to be a boss fight somewhere down here, at least out. And I want to, hopefully it will be the leader of the Red Rooks, and I will take them out. Backstep Kids asking, I think there's a difference, or saying, I think there's a difference between the meaning, difference in meaning between an RPG and actually RPing in a MMO. I guess that's right. I mean, that sounds right. I mean, again, or just a very expansive definition of role-playing. A role-playing game means just a game where you're supposed to play a role in the world. I'm guessing that's what you mean, but I would love to hear your feedback. And really, I'd love, actually, especially if you see this later in comments, I'd love to just drop in your definition of what you think role-playing is. Whether it's an MMO or whether it's a single-player game is irrelevant. Just what's role-playing to you? I agree. I think a role-playing game is, role-playing game just means you have a role. You're following the storyline. You can sort of, you're expected to play a role in the world, or at least the role you're playing can help modify the story in some way. So I think that's fair. You may not role play as a character, you may not speak as a character, you may not do all those kinds of things, but yeah, there may not be role playing involved, but it might be a role playing game. But role playing in an MMO, there's a couple things that set it apart to me. One, you can do things like set the tone of the character, have a character's point of view, do some of the normal things you associate with improvisational acting, which is what the traditional sort of view of role-playing has been and what the origins of it were, at least what I still define it as. That's all fair. One extra dimension that comes as part of an MMO, though, is you actually impact the time another player will have in the game. So whether you're healing or tanking, those things that we consider just mechanics, those are still some form of role-playing, right? Your what you do and how well you do it is has a direct impact on the life of that person in the game and the time that they're spending playing it. So I think it's fair to say that actually that's a form of role-playing as well. Slave miner. Do I have to let any of these people go? I don't know if setting them free has anything in it for me, but let me see. Or if I have, maybe I have a side quest once I'm told by the counselors to set them free. You do that. It's just fun setting them free, so why not? I'm gonna have to get through this quest with some kind of in some kind of reasonable time frame, though, so I'm not going to be able to stop and let everybody go that I see. I'll just count on the fact that they will be freed once I defeat the bandits boss and drive all of the bandits out of town. So I don't know that I necessarily need to set them free right at this moment, and I don't know that it actually matters. So let me see, where am I going down here? All right, I got a council over on this wing. Let me take this person out, and this citizen gets to be freed ahead of me. And you might be able to notice, I don't know if it's apparent, but having leveled even that one level, I am not taking these guys down as fast as I was sort of on the outside when I was one level below me. So out-leveled my gear by one level. That has raised the general level of the mobs that I'm fighting because of one Tamriel. Steel Battle Axe of Frost. Ooh, blue item. That's probably going to do pretty well for me for my two-handed weapon slot. I used them all in there that I've been barely using. Yeah, 21. Perfect. All right. So I got a better weapon now for my two-handed opener. There is one of the counselors that I have to free. Oh, switch to the wrong weapon. Lock you. Well, that works pretty good as an opener.
I'm in.
The Red Rooks will pay for what they've
They
done
will
here.
pay. They will pay dearly. More barley. Some ginseng. Give me some cooking supplies, mister. Give me some cooking supplies. Yeah, so that role-playing and what you do to enjoy it. I mean, that's... I like a mixture of different things. I don't like just one thing. It's another thing that sort of makes the sort of emotive form of role-playing not as enjoyable to me. I don't like just standing around and... I don't like standing around and just getting, just giving monologues. I like the comment on things going on in the world as if you're actually living there. I like building towards things, so having goals as players, working towards them together. That's something I really like. I have to say, I wish there was more to do with that in this world. Even something as simple like, I always craft, I'm self-abusive in this way. I always craft, but really hate grinding to craft. So what I wish they would do is something like maybe PvP. The Cyrodiil section was entirely grinding. You can go out and grind there, and your ability to sort of just make new weapons and armor did nothing but buff your mates out there in PvP who are actually fighting or something like that. You can feed the town guard, get them better armor that you can see transform over time. I know you can do a little bit of that with wall repair and a few things like that. That's pretty cool, but it'd be nice if you just didn't have to endlessly grind gear for no apparent reason. That you can at least contribute to something in the world, make the Guardians of a Keep or the affect the PvP a little bit in some reasonable way that made you feel like you're participating in the world. And that, I'm including that in the role-play discussion because role-playing is, at the end of the day, feeling like you're a part of the world overall and feeling like you're participating with other people in a shared story. And that can come through mechanics. That can come through sort of just talking about things and having loose narrative elements that you're agreeing on together. There's a lot of different ways that this can sort of come into play. But it should, the best scenario is when you have multiple ways that this can work together. That, to me, that variety, that keeps the game fresh. That keeps the game from getting stale over time, because no matter what, how well a game is designed, sooner or later you're going to get tired of certain game elements. Having the ability to sort of rotate through different parts of the game that you like, depending on sort of where you are at that individual moment, that I think helps keep the game fresh and keep it more enjoyable.
I'll go help him.
So if I could switch, between PvP stuff, making items for the guards that PvP keeps, coming back, maybe doing some in-game quests that gave me differential outcomes based on my character's point of view, those would be enjoyable for me. I understand that those are hard in MMOs, so it's not a knock on the game. I think the game is great. I don't wish it was different. I'm just saying what I enjoy in terms of what is and is not role-playing. Finish off this fight. So lots of these folks get to go free early. I don't see a chest up there, so that person's just gonna have to wait till I liberate the entire mine. How far? Where else am I going? Oh, I got one more person. I see. One more looter. Wheat and seaweed. More seaweed. Lots of seaweed in these barrels. Not even that close to the ocean. So at least for me, yeah, that's what I think of as role playing. I wonder what you do. do you what is role playing to you? I know some people like just creating the feeling of that character, and I get it. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I'm not someone who likes to hate on other people's gaming style. Matter of fact, one of the people I almost left the guild that I'm in, which is they don't do a whole lot together, but they're nice enough group of folks. I almost left because
I joined him when the Red Rooks captured me.
Yes, you should.
It's time to finish what I started.
I almost left the guild because one of them was talking about sort of hating role players and that they're out there in the world doing whatever. That makes absolutely zero sense to me. Like, not liking that someone is out in the world doing something when it doesn't affect you at all. That's the silliest thing I can imagine. Sort of, but I didn't leave the guild because they're nice enough, and the truth is, I don't know those people. One thing about MMOs, for all I know, that person could be 12 years old, still jerky, but kind of age appropriate at 12. So I don't know. I chose not to leave, but I will say I'm not a big fan of folks who enjoy griefing or harshing other people's mellow. Matter of fact, if I thought they were griefers, I would leave. They're not griefers. They just complain a little bit about it. Griefers, they're probably the cardinal sin for me in games. I think that people who the game for them is enjoying other people's games. That is the worst thing I can possibly imagine. And it is only a game, so I don't get too wrapped up about it. But I will say there's no magical place in life where you're no longer responsible for your actions. There's no sort of place you go where it doesn't really matter what you do. It always matters what you do. You're always responsible for being a decent human being. So integrity matters wherever you go. So when you choose to abandon that just because and use the excuse that it's a game, it doesn't matter to me. So to me, I don't really have a lot of respect for the game.
Is there a cave-in? You! Get away from that bell!
Kill the foreman. Use a cave-in bell to awaken the foreman. Where are they? I saw them jump down. That must be the foreman there. They're purple, so I'm going to have to pay attention to this fight. Ultimate block. All right. Ooh, I should have blocked that power attack. Block. Yes. It's cool. The place seems like it's collapsing around me. I don't know why a bell would make it collapse, but that's a cool effect. I like those sort of thematic elements of the whole thing. All right. Took out the foreman, and hopefully that will free the town. Meet Tammy and Siller at the end. My hope is they have engaged in the rebellion already, and I will either get to kill the boss or there is no boss here and they're already free. Backstab Kitty saying, yeah, being foreign does not help trying to explain something. Yep, I totally get what you mean. I don't know what your sort of native language is, but I have lived overseas before. I've lived in Central and South America for quite a while. And, it's wonderful to be able to speak multiple languages and talk to a number of people. I'm trying to learn French a little bit and do a few other languages. I love French itself. I know a little bit of Spanish, but nothing that I would call, nothing I'm conversant in. And I remember talking, sort of the secret to other languages is there is no secret to other languages. You just have to speak it a lot and practice. And when you don't, you're just not going to speak it that well. Languages are hard to do, especially compared to native speakers. It's just not going to sound as natural. So I would say, you just have to resign yourself to the fact that you're going to sound stupid if you don't speak the language very well. So I would have to just admit, in Inglés soy muy inteligente. In English, I'm very smart, which is true. No es verdad en español, so it's not true in Spanish. That was just unfortunately true. That when I would speak Spanish, I would sound stupid, and my accent is, bad. Although I will say something people often miss. I don't know if this is just an American thing or if it's all people with different languages. Speaking a different language, your people are reluctant to speak the language in that language's accent, and I always think that's funny. I think it's because they think they don't want to insult the language, and that's good. You shouldn't insult the language, but it's they'll speak that person's accent in their own language, but not speak it when they're speaking the accent of the actual language, and that's the point of it is to speak it in that accent. You're not making fun of that person. You're not making fun of that language when you speak with that accent. You're just trying to speak the language. And people often miss that. And I think because they feel foolish about things. All right, Tamian, what do we got?
I've heard your praises from a number of rescued miners.
I also killed the foreman.
Please. Dead? That's good news. I've sent some of the miners to Counselor. It's time. The people of Crosswitch have taken
It's
up
time
arms
to
and are
rise
ready to
up.
retake their town. But first, Sternus Gelvs must die. He's taken over the mayor's house. Since the resistance started, he never leaves the place. You'll have to fight through his personal guards to reach him. Fortunately, you'll have some help.
Problem, my man. What do you mean?
The resistance has grown thanks to you. If you want help, use this whistle in front of the mayor's house. Anyone nearby will come to help. Find me when Gelvs is finished. Meanwhile, we'll start removing the rooks out here. We've got them on edge.
I will go find this dude. So the boss, I think that's the boss of the Red Rooks, which I would love to take out. That'd be pretty fun. I'm gonna sneak past these people because I don't really need to take them out. Make it out. Backstab Kitty saying, yeah, griefers are bad for gaming. To me, they're players without honor. But what I do hate is the hackers, cheaters, especially in PvP. I definitely agree with you there. I mean, I don't. People who do stuff like that just annoy me. It's just there's so much I can go into. But yeah, I mean, you're just trying to play a game, and if someone's a real jerk about the whole thing, it just takes away the fun. And someone who they can't have a good time unless someone else is having a bad time, that's the worst type of human being. And the worst part of it all is they're probably a young or immature player. Well, they're definitely immature. I don't know if they're young. And in a normal culture, someone who's sort of off base and being a jerk about how they play, that would be a teachable moment in most cultures. But because, the community would pull the person aside and say, listen, you're being a real jerk, there's other people in the world, maybe you should consider other people's feelings. It would be a great way, playing games is throughout human history, been a great way to sort of get to know your other people that you live with and develop your skills at being more fair. But in an MMO, there's no force, or an online game anyway. There's nothing to sort of teach people that moment. So what they do is they find other people like it and who are like them too, and bullies start to run the whole thing, and the games tend to degrade that way. So yeah, I agree. I'm not a big, what can you do? You're left with the choice of leaving a game, and I think that if there are griefers involved, and if that's truly the case, that is really unfortunate. It's unhealthy for a game, in my opinion, and I hate to see it. All right, I don't know where that part where I'm supposed to ring a whistle or something like that came in, but I'm just gonna take this person out. I did activate my ultimate. They are a mage, and I'm not doing very good at interrupting. When you get all these particle effects around the character, I have a real hard time trying to figure out if they're doing a special attack. If they're doing a special attack there, I can see it, but when they're lost inside of particle effects, it's really hard for me to see if they're doing something I need to interrupt. All right, they are now officially dead. Let me get out of here. Doesn't look like there's anything to take in this house. And one of my weapons is out of charge. That's what that little icon on the bottom means. That's interesting because they are all new weapons. My sword is out of charge. I'm probably going to change that sword out soon, so I'm not going to bother recharging it. Whatever I need to do is probably fine enough. Red Rooks are all gone. I think that means that the town is probably liberated. At least I am hoping so. And let's see what this Tamian guy has to say. Take this runestone. I keep getting these mundane ruins. I have no idea what that is. So if anybody knows, please leave a comment. I tried to Google for it. I don't quite understand. I think it's either a bug or something adaptable. Yeah.
Thanks to your efforts, order and peace are restored.
Sternus is dead.
Last, Sternus Gelves has paid for his crimes against Crosswitch,
Complete
Time for me to head back to the mine. We'll take care of any red rooks stupid enough to stick around.
We need to make plans. This sort of thing must never happen to Crosswitch again.
Perhaps I could help you with that.
I was rather hoping you'd say that.
Uh-oh.
Come, we should get started right away.
Looks like they're gonna go upstairs. I know what that's gonna result in. All right. So that's it. I think I've got all of the quests in this zone now. I don't think there are any big open areas. I just have to get up. I don't see any quest markers. I think I've got all the zones added in, and I am going to go to this next zone. And then I think when I get up there, I'm just going to make sure there's no additional quests I have to do. But I am going to wrap it up quickly after that. That's a long session. I've been at a little over 2.5 hours. Wow, big gaming session for me. I know streamers tend to do this a lot longer, but sort of an adult with adult things to do, I don't often get this big chunk of time to do it. So this has been great. So the stream seems to be a lot better. I notice I've been watching the stream over on a different computer. I've done a number of things to clean it up. Like I said, I defragged my hard drive. I closed out all applications. I put a resource monitor up. The resource and CPU is really not maxed out. I don't know if it was before, but I cleaned a ton of stuff off of my hard drive. I closed all unnecessary programs. I'm even watching the chat on my laptop while my desktop just handles the streaming. I am running OBS on my desktop to actually get the video out. I'm not going. Oh, I don't. I'm not going as far as using sort of a video out and a encoding card, but it doesn't look like I need to do that. So I'm pretty happy, at least with the video quality as it's going here. One other thing I did is I downsampled the video before I sent it out. I'm not broadcasting, and I used what's called AVP for the encoding, which means that your stream quality should change based on your characteristics once you get it down and the capabilities of your network. All right, so that's it. I am not going to... This is the next zone, Stormhaven. There's a whole new set of quests and a whole bunch of other content. And for anybody who's thinking about playing Elder Scrolls Online, this is why you should definitely play the game if you love content. Because I have only scratched the surface of one faction. I have done this little starter island over here, Betnik and Stroch Mackay. So those are sort of the first 5 level zones. But the real zone, that's the tutorial area, more or less. This is the first real zone. And it's taken me all this time, a month, just to finish this set of quests and this adventure here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more zones to go through just per faction. 7, excuse me, Craghorn. And then the PvP zone as well. There are just tons of content, more than I can possibly get to, in addition to sort of the DLC zones here, the Gold Coast and Hughes Bane. So there's so much content to get through. I'm enjoying it. I really love it. I am going to keep broadcasting this as I sort of bounce back and forth between characters. Backstab Kitty saying maybe there's a bug in the add-on. Maybe those they're mundane ruins, but not in the inventory. Yeah, I could be. I don't really know. If you know for a fact, I'd love to hear what the problem is. But 2.5 hours is enough for me. I am going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for joining me. Backstab Kitty, it's great to see you again. Anyone else who's dropped by, I saw that a few people dropped by the stream as well. Thank you so much for dropping by the stream. It really means a lot to have people drop by and leave a comment if they can. If you're viewing this on YouTube, go ahead and leave a comment. I'd love to get your feedback again on the quality of the video or any suggested improvements. And if you have any answers to any of the questions or topics we've talked about in this live stream so far up to here, please go ahead and leave them. That's going to be it for me today. I will probably start broadcasting again on Monday. I am not traveling this week, so I will do several broadcasts this coming week, and I look forward to continuing these adventures. Thanks so much for dropping by again. It was great to adventure with you, and I look forward to adventuring in the future. Thank you, everyone. Peace!